Comms test, good morning and welcome to Silverstone Circuit on this beautiful summer Sunday. First qualifying going out to the Motor Royals Brit Car Trophy Championship.
This is Comms Mic 2 as well. Looking forward to a full day's action here at the Silverstone Circuit on this 2 degrees hotter today, Dave, than it was yesterday.
Well, at least we've got air conditioning in the contracts.
Good morning everybody and welcome back to Silverstone. Yes, it's going to be El Scorchio today. That's the weather. It's also going to be like that on track. Now, if we have the action like we did yesterday, boy oh boy are we in for a treat. Just a quick reminder, we had plenty of sideways action in the caterings and lots of close racing. For the British F4, it was a rookie win for Josh Irfan, and of course in the British Endurance Championship, two familiar faces, Peter Essig and Marcus Clutton, getting the win in their Audi R8 GT3. Today we've got two F4 races coming up. They are going to be absolute crackers. We've also got plenty of caterham action again, and to round out the day we have the ROKiT British Trophy Championship race, a 2-hour endurance race. We're going to be in the pits for that one. Right, let's get the action underway, shall we? Race 1 coming up. Let's go back to the caterhams, and Sam was catching up some of the drivers ahead of the opening race.
Good morning. Yes, I'm down here with Peter Mott just before his second road sport race this weekend. Talk me through yesterday's race, because you qualified 5th and went and finished in 7th. It looked like there was a lot going on out there on track.
Yeah, there was kind of a pack of 7 or 8 of us at the front, and I was kind of hanging on and waiting to see if someone would make a mistake or someone would have some contact and try to clean up with the pieces afterwards. Didn't quite work. In the end, there was just a few thousandths between me and 5th in the end, so it's never good to start in 5th and lose a couple of places, but here on the 4th row, a sunny day, Silverstone GP, what more can you ask for?
Exactly, and this is your best qualifying for the UK, isn't it? You qualified 3rd at Zandvoort, which is brilliant.
Yes, I did, yeah, so it's good to get a little bit higher up. At least it gets me in touch with the guys, which is very important, of course, off the start, so fingers crossed, still close enough today, hopefully I can do something good.
Excellent. Well, wish you all the best. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.
Right, we'll just move on down. We'll have a quick word with Theo. Sorry, guys. Hope you don't mind me popping in. Good morning, Theo. Talk to yesterday's race. How was it for you?
It was terrible. Terrible in parts, like a curate's egg. Good in parts. I had stalled it off the line, so I remained stationary whilst 13 cars went past me. So I went from P7 to P20 by turn 1. And then I got 11 places back by the end of lap 1, so I was in full race mode, which was a good recovery drive. And then I got locked in with another driver that we didn't work together, so we ended up losing the pack in front, and then it was just a cruise around until we finished the race. So it wasn't ideal in the last stages, but the early stages I'm happy with the recovery. I think I'll try a different start technique though.
Yeah, definitely. That's an awesome recovery. Well, hopefully you can put some of that fuel into your system for today's race from yesterday and make your way a bit further up.
Full send.
Full send, there you go. Thank you, Theo. Right, now I'm going to have a quick word with Roger Patke. We haven't actually spoken to Roger since his tyre incident back at Croft. Roger, I wanted to just catch up with you, because the pictures that I saw from your whole wheel coming off your car back at Croft looked quite frightening.
Yeah, it was certainly exciting. I hadn't actually realised that the wheel had come off until I got out of the car and had a look that there was a whole bit missing. So just a bit too much curb and abuse on that side, I think. But JB, as usual, getting the most perfect photos going. So
that's it. So how are you finding the 270 championship this year, moving up from Academy?
Well, it's certainly a steep learning curve. The top 10 are just, they're so close to each other. Brilliant racing, really great experience, and loving it so far.
Excellent, good. Well, I wish you all the best for this race.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, Roger. Right, I'll tell you what, let's have a little move on down and speak to Giles Perry, as we've got a few more minutes. Good morning, Giles.
Hi.
I'm good, thank you. How are you? How's your weekend going?
No, very well, thank you.
Good. So, looking forward to today's race?
Yeah, very much. Yeah, absolutely. Decent race yesterday, made a few mistakes, lost the toe in front, but yeah, still some great racing, but yeah, some very fast guys out there this weekend, so it's all good.
And the toe is so key here, isn't it? You've got to hold on to somebody.
Yeah, the toe is massive. If you lose that, then you're dead, and you're just fighting the guys behind you then. So yeah, you've got to keep that momentum going, stay out the guy in front of you, really.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, well, wish you all the best for today's race. Thank you, Giles. Right, let's move on down and have a word. Oh, Steve Merritt, let's have a chat with him. Good morning, Steve.
Hi, good morning.
How's your weekend going?
Well, actually, this is my very first catering race, so I've really enjoyed it so far. It's been a baptism of fire. So I'm looking for some of the faster guys to try and hang on to the back of and try and make some progress.
So what's your background then? What's made you get into caterham racing?
A long time ago I raced karts, but I've had more than 20 years off racing. But I love motorsport, and I wanted to give caterhams a try, so here I am.
Here you are. And have you had much testing in caterhams?
I've done several test days and track days, but this is the first full weekend I've done, so, and I'll try and do maybe 1 or 2 more this year and see how I get on.
Excellent. Well, you've done pretty well for your first caterham race.
So far so good. There's still 2 races left, so.
There is. Well, I wish you all the best, but that's the whistle gone, so we'll let you have a good race. Nice talking to you, and we'll hand back to you guys in the commentary box.
Thank you very much, Sam. Yes, good morning from the commentary box, ladies and gents, and welcome to the home of British motorsport here at the Silverstone circuit, racing on the full Grand Prix layout here this weekend. It's beautiful weather, the sun beating down here in Northamptonshire, and we are ready for a second day of action here on BARC TV, presented by the British Automobile Racing Club. 5 great races yesterday, some super close caterham racing, a dominant performance from Peter Erscheg and Marcus Cluttered in their Audi R8, as Ian has already mentioned, in the British Endurance Championship, and we saw a great race from the ROKiT F4 British Championship, certified by FIA. They're back out for another 2 races today. We kick off racing with the Mission Motorsport Caterham 7 270R Championship, one of 3 Caterham Championships we have in action this weekend. Then it's the first of our 2 races today for the single-seaters, the ROKiT F4 British Championship. Then it's the Vertex Watches Caterham Road Sport Championship, followed by the Mottl Motor Oil's Caterham 7 310Rs, the quickest cars we've got here this weekend in terms of Caterhams. Then we have an hour for lunch, and then it's more Caterham action with the 270Rs with their 3rd race of the weekend, the ROKiT F4 British Championship, certified by FIA, back out for another 20-minute race, and then the Mottl Caterham 7 310Rs before our longest race of the day, the Rowe Motor Oil's Brit Car Trophy Championship, mixture of GT and saloon cars, a 2-hour race with 3 mandatory pit stops for each car. My name's Dave Goddard, taking you through the action throughout the day from the commentary box, and I'm joined for our first race today, I'm glad to say, by Caterham expert Chris Hutchinson. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning. Another hot one out here today. It was already hot for our drivers yesterday in the 3 series that we brought here with Caterhams this weekend, and it sounded like it was going to be another 2 degrees hotter. We were already seeing angry tyres and sideways action, weren't we, yesterday? So we're going to be working to see whether their tyres can hang on in through Road 12. We've got 1 race today, and the 217 310s both got 2 20-minute races for themselves as well.
And I cannot wait for this first race of the day, the Mission Motorsport Caterham 7 270R Championship. They had a cracking race yesterday. Freddie Chiddick's one of our championship contenders, taking the win. He pulled away as everybody else was fighting for second in the closing laps of yesterday's race, and one of his championship rivals, Charlie Lower, could only manage 4th. The grid for today's first race is set by the race yesterday, the race results, so it is Freddie Chiddick's number 66 on pole, alongside number 45 David Rook. 2nd row 35 Mark Kendall was right in the mix all the way through yesterday. He got fastest lap as well, starts alongside Charlie Lower, number 21. 3rd row number 17 Alex Vincent starts alongside 53 Michael Chaplin. On the 4th row we just heard from Peter Motts, number 96, starts alongside the number 15 driven by Welshman James Cook. Row 5 is Theo Theato. We just heard from him as well. We've already seen him a winner at Snetterton this year in the Caterham Graduates Championship. He starts alongside Jonathan Ramsey, number 14. They were inches apart all the way through yesterday's race. Then on row number 6 we have last year's Academy champion, Rog Patke. We heard from him as well, driving number 29, starts alongside number 27 of Chris Ephraimidis. Row 7 is number 99 Toby Boys and 71 Giles Perry. Then on the 8th row we have 46 Mark Williams and number 11 Steve Merritt. He was involved in a bit of contact yesterday but was able to finish. Row 9 is 48 Richard Hoare and 6 Marcus Eels. On the 10th row, number 19 Paul Higginbottom, who only just avoided Steve Merritt after he went off and rejoined yesterday and had to spin the car around, so finished a little way down the order, starting on row 10 alongside the 22 of Louise Deason. Row 11 is 65 Lydia Gould alongside 44 Ian Summers. Row 12 63 Andy Palmer and 23 Alan Bateman. The penultimate row 88 of Charles Vincent and 84 Joe Priday, who failed to finish yesterday's race. And watch out for fireworks on the back of the grid. Number 2 Mark Jones, who missed yesterday's race. He's 4th in the championship at the moment coming into this weekend. He's got to find his way through from the back of the grid, so watch for the number 2 car coming through. It's a very quick race indeed.
Yeah, always spectacular to watch Mark Jones. He's never a dull moment on track. He's along him and Theo Theato are often the ones that you can concentrate on, but he's going to have to make his way through an awful lot of cars. But the Silverstone circuit, as we saw yesterday, there were some times when people were overtaking 3 or 4 cars down the straights. So a little bit the wind today is still sort of gusting around. It's a bit of headwind still down Hanger Straight, so I think we'll see more of the same. And I think that does give Mark Jones plenty of opportunity in his paddle up grey machine at the rear of the field to come through. So definitely one to keep an eye on the timing screens for that. Can Charlie Lower come back to winning form? So he dropped to 4th place at the end of last race yesterday, losing out sort of valuable championship points. It's been between him and Freddie Chiddicks at the top of the table, so Freddie Chiddicks did manage to convert that win, breaking away just at the end of the race, and so he'll be looking to see whether Lower he can sort of return the favour. But yeah, David Rook, Mark Kendall having some really good run of form, as was Peter Mott. We spoke to him, as you said, on the grid, and he's really coming good with 3rd qualification at Zandvoort, and now going, he sort of qualified 5th and still stayed in that lead group all the way through. Great for him.
Cars just completing their green flag lap to warm up their tyres. This will be a 20-minute race. First of 2 races today for the Mission Motorsport Caterham 7 270R Championship. Mission Motorsport, the Forces Motorsport charity, set up several years ago by Major James Cameron. A lot of money has been raised for injured servicemen and their families through motorsport. So onto the grid they come then. The marshals pull them into position. Freddie Chiddicks, the grey car with the red nose on the right of your picture, in pole position alongside the red and black car at number 45, David Rook, the Scottish-based racer. Second row, Mark Kendall in the green car. I reckon he could be in with a good chance of the first win here today. Charlie Lower, the black car with the blue nose, and Alex Vincent is in green and grey with the sort of citrus yellow roll cage on the number 17 car. Michael Chaplin in a darker blue and black, completing the 3rd row. Peter Mott is in black and white. James Cook, that's a distinctive car, the car with the Welsh flag on the bonnets. Then Theo Theato in orange and black, Jonathan Ramsey in grey and red. That's the colours of your top 10 cars on the grid, so we can see who to follow. The 270R is really the 3rd rung on the Caterham ladder, coming up from Academy and Road Sports. Green flag waves at the back of the grid then. Time to go racing on the Silverstone Grand Prix circuits. Everybody in position, waiting for the red lights to come on. When they go out, we will be racing. Away they go, down towards Copse Corner for the first time. Mark Kendall trying to come through the middle in the green car, but it's Chiddicks and Rook together trying to go through the middle. Is Charlie Lower moving across there. They've all made it into Copse Corner. Okay, the number 99 car, that's Toby Boys with the white wheels. We'll see who's leading as they come up towards Maggots for the first time. It's almost 3 wide. Freddie Chiddicks, Charlie Lower's come through into 2nd place into the Beckett's complex for the first time. Freddie Chiddicks has just about held his lead. Charlie Lower and David Rook together. Somebody kicking up the dust in there behind. I think that might have been Theo Theato in the 72 car, the orange car. They make it through this sweeping Beckett's complex, and then they'll charge down the Hanger Straight towards the daunting Stowe Corner for the first time. Back of the field there, number 23, that's Alan Bateman. And Freddie Chiddicks out on a very wide line as they head towards Stowe Corner for the first time. Charlie Lower trying to go through on the inside to take the lead.
Yeah, Rook got the best start of all of them and actually led as they went into Copse that time, but he wasn't able to hold on by the time they got to Beckett's S's, and you can see that he's now dropped down to that 3rd place. Chiddicks not giving anyone a tow down Hanger Straight that time as they head down to the Vale for the first time. It does still look like it is Chiddicks out front there with the Boss sponsorship on the back. A little bit of a lock up there. Theo Theato was on the grass already. Wonder whether that's kind of where his car is on that field, but it is Chiddicks. They lead them as they flew through Club Corner this time.
Through the club complex then up towards the right-hander onto the Sir Lewis Hamilton straights, past the Formula 1 pits, then down towards the right-hander at Abbey Kerr. Charlie Lower has a look on the inside there. Looks like it could be number 53 of Michael Chaplin up there in 3rd place, the dark blue car. He's made a good start from the 3rd row of the grid. Yes, there he is, side by side for the lead. Charlie Lower at the inside into Village Corner, takes the lead. Mark Kendall's dropped back a little. There's the 96 car in behind him as well. That's Peter Mott. Michael Chaplin in 3rd place. Theo Theato on the outside of Mark Kendall. Theo was frustrated with his efforts in yesterday's race, but he's in there in 5th place behind David Rook, who has dropped back to 4th behind Michael Chaplin. A better start from Theo. Struggled off the line in yesterday's race as they start to fan out. Freddie Chiddicks looks to the inside as they go towards Brooklands Corner.
Yeah, absolutely. Not ideal start to head out there off the line with stalling, but he did well to recover back through. As watching just deep in this field, you can see the action is absolutely nose to tail all the way through. Louise Deason in her orange and purple car as they head into Luffield this time. But it is Chiddix who is it's Rog going out wide there, so he's going to lose some more places. Let's see where Mark Jones has made his way up to after this first lap as well. So they head down to complete that first lap.
Chiddix leads the way then by a few hundredths of a second ahead of Lower, Chaplin. It's Rook, Theato in 5th, Kendall in 6th position. There's Jonathan Ramsey side by side with the number 15 of James Cook. Mark Jones has gained 9 places. He's up into 18th place on the back of the grid. 3 wide for the lead through Maggots, Charlie Lower and Michael Chaplin. Chaplin goes through, 2 places made up. Great move by Michael Chaplin in the number 53 car. Can he hold it on the exit? Chiddix goes down to 3rd place. Charlie Lower in the 2nd. It's Kendall in 4th in the green car. Then it's David Rook, the Scottish base racer. Excuse me, chased down by Theo Theato. I'm losing my voice already. This isn't good. We're only a couple of laps into today's racing. Charlie Lower holds the inside. Chiddix moving out wide to try and break the toe as they head down towards Stowe Corner. Chaplin's caught in the middle, and Chiddix, that move's worked to get for him, takes the lead on the outside.
So it seems like 2 spaces down Hanger Straight is perfectly possible at this early stage of the race. Chaplin joining us for the first time here at Silverstone this season so far. He did join us last year for some races. I don't think he's doing the full season, but nevertheless, absolutely, once he's joined us, he's back inserting himself fully into this lead group and has put himself out front. But it's Chiddix currently in the lead as there's this absolute pack of cars coming through club. A little bit of a lock-up there, looks behind into the Vale that time through, but it is Chiddix that leads us up this Hamilton Straight, and it is Charlie Lower, so our normal 2 now looking like they're breaking clear of Chaplin a little bit.
There's damage on the front of Mark Kendall's car. His nose cone's pointing skywards, so I think there's been a bit of contact in there somewhere possibly. We saw a couple of dislodged nose cones in yesterday's races as well. That's going to affect the aero and affect the handling, I would think, on Mark Kendall's car as well. Not good for yesterday's 3rd place finisher. There's James Cook. You can see the flag of Wales on his bonnet. As sliding up the inside, Peter Mott takes the number 17 of Alex Vincent as they come through the loop. Then the left-hander at Aintree and down the Wellington straight towards Brooklands. This is where we'll see slipstreaming. We'll see some daring moves made. Charlie Lower is particularly strong. We saw yesterday in that section of the track. Just over 15 minutes of this race to go. Unfortunately, I think we've lost our camera at Brooklands at the moment, so our apologies there. We'll wait for them to come into view at Luffield. We'll see who is leading as they come towards. Looks like it is Charlie Lower ahead of Freddie Chiddix, then slight gap back to Chaplin and the rest of them as they come through to complete their 2nd lap. It's a long lap here on the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit. Charlie Lower and Freddie Chiddix side by side as they cross the line. Chiddix takes the lead back again on the outside, side by side with her between Chaplin and Rook. Then we've got Theato side by side with Mark Kendall. That's a damaged nose cone, certainly not slowing him down.
It's not at the moment. You can see when he drips in and out of the toe, you'll see that nose cone nodding up and down as it hits the wind and goes out of it, but it's going to be acting as an air brake, and more importantly, he's not going to be able to see. A little bit of a rear wheel arch there flapping on Rook's car as well, so Chaplin dropping a little bit further back. Rook, we saw him in 2nd place in yesterday's race, but you can see Kendall's nose cone is down while he's following closely with Chaplin, but as soon as he pulls out, that will be ripping up in the air. He'll want to see that dislodged because it's going to be affecting his visibility into the corners.
And Chaplin's got a loose rear wheel arch as well, I noticed there as well, so the parts department's going to be quite busy already after this race as Chaplin defends from David Rook. Here comes Theo Theato. He's going to try and go around the outside of all of them. The 2 leaders, Lower and Chiddix, the 2 championship rivals, have pulled away, and Theato is going for broke around the outside. So is Mark Kendall. And now Theato, can he get the line for the Vale and down towards the left into the club complex? I think he's going to get 3rd place here. There's the pink car we noticed there, Rog Patke in the middle of that. There's loads of cars missing rear wheel arches. It's been a bit fraught on these first couple of laps, but the 2 leaders have taken advantage of this squabbling for 3rd place to pull away. As Chaplin there moving to the inside onto the Hamilton Straight. Charlie Lower leads from Freddie Chiddix. It's David Rook in 3rd place, then side by side between Kendall and Theato. Theato pulls ahead down the straight there into Abbey on the outside. Next to come through is I think that's Peter Mott next in the order, isn't it? No, it's James Cook, sorry, the 2 black cars, tricky to tell apart from a distance. So 15 of Cook is next in the order. Next is Alex Vincent. Coming through on the inside is Cook. He'll try and take Kendall. Michael Chaplin in behind them, and Theo Theato's run wide there. just about holds the line back into the loop and then into Aintree.
Chaplin's lost out in that little section. He was up in the lead, wasn't he, a couple of laps back, and now he's down in about that 6th or 7th place. So he's been shuffled backwards down the order as we're looking at Alex Vincent and Peter Mott as they head down towards Brooklands then for this time. We're waiting for them to come back into our view. Here they are down at Brooklands, and you can see absolutely nose-to-tail action as they head on through. We only attach the rear wheel arches with nylon bolts, so they do ping off, and actually drivers quite like it sometimes. It adds a bit more cooling to the tyres, so we definitely don't attach them for the very reason that it's better to have them knocked off than rip the bodywork apart.
Well, it gives some of our marshals out there a few souvenirs to pick up anyway as they come through to complete lap number 3. New fastest lap for Freddie Chiddicks, 2:30.411. He's just over a quarter of a second clear of Charlie Lower. Here comes Theo Theato past David Rook up into 3rd place. There's Mark Kendall with the new nose design in 5th position ahead of Michael Chaplin. Then behind them James Cook, and the rest of them behind is Peter Mott, Alex Vincent. We've got Toby Boys in there, the number 99. He's running well. Here comes Chaplin up the inside. He charges up the inside into what is now 5th position past the 15 of James Cook. Kendall's dropping back. He's got a wheel arch hang. That car is shedding parts by the look of it there, the 35.
He's going to have to add a few more bits by the time we get to the second race this afternoon. But it's we heard from Theo Theato saying he was going full send. Well, he's a big winner at the moment, coming up from 9th on the grid up into that. Well, he's just about battling for that 3rd place. But they have let the lead 2 get away. Charlie Lower and Freddie Chiddicks are fully on their own battle and just working together to pull this gap, and therefore they're going to guarantee themselves that 1st and 2nd place. Chaplin moving back up, so he was struggling a little bit in that mid phase, but he's now back up into that 5th place again.
There they come down towards Club, the 2 leaders together, Chiddicks and Lower duking it out for the lead. They are well clear to the tune of about 5 seconds. Big lock up from somebody there at the back of the field into the Club complex. See who's going to come out in 3rd place as they come onto the Hamilton straight. It is Theato who's trying to break the toe there, moving towards the Grand Prix pit wall. Chaplin in behind him. Then we've got David Rook, that car with its wheel arch still flapping behind it. Mark Kendall next in the order. This is a great fight for 3rd, but of course the harder they battle, the easier it is for the first 2 in the race. Lower and Chiddicks to make a break. Theato defends to the inside into Village. And Chaplin, 45 of Rook, that's the 35 of Kendall. Cook is next in the order, then it's Peter Mott. Behind him is Toby Boys with the white wheels, the number 99 car trying to go around the outside. Alex Vincent has dropped behind him. It's a solid line of cars heading down the straight into the Wellington straight. They go towards the left-hander at Brooklands past the BRDC clubhouse. They're going to go 4, but you can't go 4 wide into Brooklands, surely. They'll try and make it. Well, they look at Mark Kendall switching back to the inside, and Michael Chaplin goes around the outside of Theo Theato, takes that 3rd place away, and also trying to come through is Rook. So Theato's lost out there on that run into Brooklands. He'll lose 2 places. He could lose 3. Look at Kendall switching to the inside. He's deciding, oh, his car's a bit lighter than the others, doesn't shed so many parts, so he's going for broke and trying to make advantage. I jest, of course, as the 2 leaders go over the line. Still Freddie Chiddicks up front by 0.29 of a second ahead of Charlie Lower. Chaplin somehow defending that 3rd place.
Yeah, they're having to really sort of jink around, aren't they? They're really a game of chess, like we said yesterday, working out where do I want to put my car, where have I got the momentum. We saw Kendall had a load of momentum, but he had nowhere to put it. Theato being squeezed onto the curb that time through. Track limits have changed slightly for this race, and the drivers are all being aware of it, and they're certainly seeing quite a lot of track limits mark on the sort of timing screens as we go through. Theato losing out in that phase. He's going around there, losing out places. Theato in that phase, and it's definitely Kendall with his nose cone in the air. You know, he will be his visibility will be limited as he heads around, but he's still managing. He knows his side, looking at the braking points out the side of his eye. But here are the 2 leaders, Charlie Lower and Freddie Chiddicks, just swapping places, and they have got an absolute acre of time ahead of everyone else as they go 4 wide into Stowe this time.
Acres of time. That was a Ron Atkinsonism in football, wasn't it? Nice to hear that again. And so everybody else trying to be 3rd. We've got about a dozen cars in there. It really does look like, as we said yesterday, a bad day on the M1 motorway at the moment as they come up towards Club. Who's going to come out of this in 3rd place? The 2 leaders probably wondering where everybody else has got to. They're all in this solid scrub of cars, which takes up pretty much the rest of the field behind them. Let's see who's going to come through in 3rd. A bit tricky to see from the sun as they come through into Club Corner. It should be Michael Chaplin, I think, who comes out in 3rd. No, it's Is that Peter Mott who's come out, or is it James Cook? It's Cook who's come out into third. Where's he come from up there? That's a great move through the order.
He's clearly been working his way through, just like the M1. You have the lanes moving at different speeds when it's all busy, and just like on the M1, you've got to pick the right lane, the one's going to bring you further forward. And it looks like it is Cook who's made his way to the front of that field, chose the right lane and made his sequence around Club there very easily. So, but we're still seeing those bodyworks flapping. It's the battle of the rear wing versus the nose cone as Rook goes around the outside and Kendall has to lose that place. Roger Patke making gentle progress forward, but this pack is getting bigger and busier as we get through this race.
Mark Jones incidentally is up to 13th from the back of the grid, so we'll see him start to move into this battle fairly soon. Side by side down the straight, Chaplin moves back ahead of Cook, then it's the 45 of Rook, and Toby Boy's going well, the 99, round the outside of Mark Kendall there, trying to go with him. That's Peter Mott, the black and white car. There's Theo Theato, Rog Patke is in behind him, Mark Jones is in there a short way behind him. Is that Jones moving up the inside there of Patke? It certainly is, so he's now starting to make his move.
Yeah, he will do. He's thirsty for that, moving up through the field. He's got another race to move even further forward, but it looks like he's got the opportunity to get to third and no more as the lead two have checked out. It is still this Cook car alongside Chaplin. Chaplin crossed the line in front, but Cook's ahead by the time they turn through Copse this time through. Kendall again moving behind Mott, so Mott's absolutely keeping involved, isn't he, in this lead battle, just like he did yesterday. You just want to make sure that the timing of this now is 6 to 7 minutes to go. You've got to work out where do I need to be with this group. At the moment they're just all trying to figure out how do I carry the momentum. There's such a wide track here at Silverstone, there's plenty of opportunities to sort of put your car on the inside, but it always slows you down because cars side by side are always going to have a problem.
Here's a replay of some action further back in the pack. This is at the loop and into entry. Somebody spinning there towards the rear of the pack. A bit tricky to see through the heat haze who that is. Can't quite see the number.
Louis Deason was just ahead of him, so where it was, I think there's it's now David Rook. Is that Rook? We've also got it's that one of the cars has got another nose cone set there, so more nose cones going wanting at the moment as they head down into the Vale this time through. But yeah, it's an absolute car park as they head in. We've seen lots of lockups already. Like I say, it's hard to see the colours of the cars as they head through here. They're just one big. We've got another rotator there spinning there. So one of those cars, is that Rog Patke? It might be a pink car there. So keeping an eye out to see as he comes back past the camera.
Yes, I think that might be Rog that has spun there. Number 44, Ian Summers, was the other car that spun up the loop a lap ago. No, it was Alex Vincent there that's had a lose. The number 17, I think, further back. Or is that Rog towards... No, there's Rog, the pink car. It was him who spun around there, so he's dropped back. Here comes the pack through towards... It's impossible to pick out. Have we got two pink cars in this race then?
It did certainly look pink as it was coming towards us, didn't it? But no, Roger's definitely still in that pack, and he's just ahead of Theo Theato, so a little bit back. Here's the other angle, the reverse angle for that spin. So who was it who lost the rear of their car then? I think it might be Giles Perry, is that?
Yes, number 71. He's a similar colour to Alex Vincent, which is why I was confused in the first place. I can't keep up with this. Anyway, 5 minutes of the race to go, and the third place pack is coming down into Brooklands. Up the inside comes the Caterham 270R Superleggera of Mark Kendall. He takes third place away from Michael Chaplin. David Rook goes side by side with the 15 of James Cook. Then it's Boys, Mott's. Patke's up behind them in the number 29. He's got Mark Jones on his tail, or is it no, Theo Theato's in there as well. So Jones and Theato next in the order in this group. By the time you've read out the order they're in, it's all changed again on each corner.
Yeah, absolutely. They're kind of wheelbarrow racing, and they're in all sorts of analogies, car park driving. But at the moment they are absolutely loving this. I'm sure the drivers are going to be absolutely exhausted by the time. The temperatures out there are rising rapidly as we head into the second day here at Silverstone. But here comes the two leaders sort of serenely on their way, Charlie Lowe and Freddie Chiddix. They know they're guaranteed first and second as long as there's no issues on their car, and Charlie Lowe has got a little bit of a gap there. But I wonder whether they can also, this opportunity to sort of try and get fastest laps. At the moment Chiddix has got that with a 2:30.4. They're still about they're about half a second away of the actual lap record, so still too hot out there on temperature track to allow them to really take that. But Charlie Lowe are now looking down the inside of Chiddix as they go into Stone.
Well, there go the leaders. They're an eternity clear in Caterham terms. Look how far ahead they are. They're over 11 seconds ahead of this battle for third. Look at the state of Mark Kendall's car. It's certainly different, isn't it? I imagine that if that nose cone tilts back any further, he won't be able to see where he's going. So David Rook has gone through into third place, and behind him is Michael Chaplin, one of our newcomers. You can see the novice cross on the back of his car. A great first weekend in the series for him. Somebody with a big lock up there at the back of this group. And there's been possibly an incident up at bit more bodywork goes flying. That's on Toby Boyes' car. Marshall's going to have a bit of a clear-up to do after this race, aren't
Yeah,
they?
he just took a bit too much curb on the inside of Beckett's there that time, and the kind of little sausage curbs just took away that. I think you can see the car bump violently. It probably bottomed out as it did that. But Kendall doing really well with that air brake that he's got at the front of his car to sort of manage and maintain that position. There's Ramsey, who we saw having a fight with Thea Theato all yesterday, and they sort of were a battle of their own. But it is Kendall out front. Roger Packy coming back through. Thea Theato, after that sort of early move into that second place, has dropped up a little bit. Someone's off
wide, yeah.
outside of the track there. Again, hard to spot who that is. They're going to join the rear of this pack, losing out some of those places. Is that Cook?
It may have been James Cook there. It was either Cook or Peter Mott. Their cars look very similar from a distance, so we'll pick that up as they come through towards Brooklands. It's Kendall who has third place at the moment. They'll be starting the last lap this time. David Rook in fourth place, then Chaplin side by side with Rog Patke, the Academy champion last year, who skipped the Road Sports Championship, which is, and Mark Jones a bit sideways there. Toby Boyes had to back off. Peter Mott goes through. I think that's Alex Vincent moving up on the outside as well in the 17. There's one car all over the place behind there.
The rear tyres on these cars are absolutely on fire at the moment. There you can see that there's absolutely no rear end grip for these cars. They're absolutely drifting around. These cars haven't got limited slip differentials. That's purely about grip and the temperatures out there on track. We're going to see that as being a thing throughout the rest of today. Who's going to be able to manage and maintain their tyres to the end of this race? 1 minute 50. Going to see when the actual leaders went across the line as to whether this is the last lap, but it's definitely getting close to the absolute death of this race.
Well, Chiddix leads ahead of Lower at the line. We'll pick the two leaders up in a moment. David Rook holds third ahead of Kendall now as they come through the Beckett's complex. The right, left, right onto the hanger straight. There's Chaplin in behind. There's Rog Patke. The 15 of James Cook and Theo Theato, the orange car, in behind him. They're still side by side for the lead. And there's even a wing coming on Freddie Chiddix's car now. The front wheel arches lifted up on the Boss racing car. So strong around the outside line there, coming through Stowe into Vale, then down towards the Club Corner complex, braking for the left-hander off the Vale, then this long right-hander onto the Hamilton straight. It's Chiddix from Charlie Lower, and the rest of the pack not even in sight at the moment as they squabble for third place.
Got a minute left to see whether they're going to get back to the line in time. I think this will be the final lap. So where they've been working together for the entirety of this race, and you've seen how much of a gap they've developed just by doing that, they've got to now work out where do I want to be at the right time. With 44 seconds left on the clock, where do I want to be with Chiddix? Is Chiddix strong down into Brooklands? It looks like Lower's going to wait and see whether he can just trail him down and overtake into Brooklands. That's certainly what would be on my mind in this case. There's still chance though out of Luffield to get that place back by the time we get to the line, as Charlie Lower does get the slingshot out then as they go through entry onto the the Wellington straight for the last time.
20 seconds on the clock, so I think it's going to be checkered flag this time, and Charlie Lower is ready. He's going to attack as they come down into Brooklands. He's stronger through this section. We saw yesterday he could slingshot his way up the inside. Here he comes. Charlie Lower goes through, but has he got the move done too early? Because Freddie Chiddix could get him back, as you said, Chris, on the run up to the line, out of Woodcote Corner. Here they come through the double right at Luffield. The clock's gone to 0, so we're going to see checkered flag this time. Which side is Freddie Chiddix going to go? He's going to try and get in the slipstream and pull up alongside. They're absolutely side by side as they come up towards the line. They both run out wide. Checkered flag at the ready. Who's it going to be at the line? It's Freddie Chiddix, according to the timing screen, by 0.042 of a second. Well, Freddie outside Chiddix, I think is going to be his nickname after that one, because he went around the outside at Woodcote as well. Now, who is going to be third? Here they come towards line. Kendall and Rog Patke together, and despite the damage to his car, Mark Kendall finishes on the podium for the second time this weekend, ahead of Patke, Rook Theato, Mock Jones, Cook, Vincent, Merritt, Ramsey, Priday, Williams, Veframidis and Chaplin as quickly as that.
Stunning race there by the 270s, and absolutely Chiddix worked that one out perfectly. He went out that wide angle, and absolutely perfect.
Michael Chaplin must have had a moment on that last lap, because he only came across the line in 16th, so he must have either run wide or had a half spin somewhere.
Certainly.
So he's down to 16th.
Yeah, not a good end to his race, and he's got a lot of work to do at the end. And I did see a little bit of a gap there between Rog Patke and Kendall, which kind of suggested something might have happened down at Brooklands that time through. But it is Chiddix who worked that one to perfection, got the slingshot out wide, and was able to carry that momentum around the outside. Charlie Lower pushed him to the edge of the track, but he had that run. You see his front wing there just let go. We normally only glue the front wings on, so there you go, another reason that we'll see these things flapping around. Charlie Lower, though, has been bettered twice by Chiddix. He's got one more opportunity to try and get his own back a little bit later on. The temperatures are only going to rise, and we're going to see more of the action that we saw just then.
That was absolutely fantastic, to say the least. We'll confirm the results in a moment. Just a quick chance to mention a thank you to everybody who's commented on our YouTube feed. Hello to Colin Meakin, to Carl Britchford, John Ridley, and everybody else who's commented so far. Let's have a look at the results then. Freddie Chiddick's the winner by 400ths of a second ahead of Charlie Lower, who nabbed it back again. Freddie Chiddick's out of Woodcote for the last time. Mark Kendall's rather battered car completes the podium ahead of Roger Patke. David ROKiT 5th ahead of Theo Theato. Then Peter Motts, Mark Jones on the back of the grid up to 8th place. James Cook and Alex Vincent completing the top 10. Then Stephen Merritt, our newcomer this weekend. Jonathan Ramsey 12th. Joe Priday makes up for a non-finish yesterday. He came through from the back as well to finish 13th. Mark Williams 14th. And in 15th was Chris Ephraimidis. 16th for Michael Chaplin, a problem for him on the last lap. Then Giles Perry, the number 19 of Paul Higginbottom. Toby Boyes had a bit of damage in there. He dropped down to 19th. Then Louise Deason completed the top 20. Then Marcus Eels was next home. Then Richard Hall, Lydia Gould, Ian Summers despite a spin, Andy Palmer, Alan Bateman, and the number 88 of Charlie Vincent completing the finishers. All 27 starters went the distance, which I'm pleased to say.
Yep, speeds out there not quite up in the lap record territory. Again, temperatures are likely the reason for that, but Freddie Chiddick certainly worked out how to control those temperatures out there. Charlie Lower behind. Mark Kendall will be happy to be back on that podium. He's making a habit of that, isn't he, being the best of the rest, and Rog making his way back through that difficult battle pack into that 4th place. Rook will be a bit disappointed, I think, after his 2nd place yesterday to have drifted to 5th, but still strong points. Theo Theato, he said he was going to go full send, 9th to 6th by the time he came to an end, and Peter Mott again holding on just ahead of Mark Jones, coming from right at the back of the field all the way up to 8th place.
That was a quite superb first race for the Mission Motorsports Caterham 7 270R to kick off our second day here on the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit. Next up we have the ROKiT F4 British Championship, certified by FIA. Teenage racers just moving out of karting and junior racing. We could be seeing future Formula 1 stars in action here in our next races, especially as one of the first champions in British F4 a few years ago was somebody called Lando Norris. Wonder what happened to him. We'll be seeing him here at Silverstone in just a few days' time at the 2023 British Grand Prix, of course. Circuit being prepared at the moment. Let's hand down to our pit reporters to hear from some of the drivers in Parc Fermé.
Yes, yet again another exciting race. Congratulations, Freddie. You got the fastest lap as well. You and Charlie were just in a league of your own there, weren't you?
Yeah, that was a brilliant race. I'm so happy when it's Charlie and I out at the front like that. We give ourselves a bit of time to make a gap, and then we go and have a bit of a play and some fun. Too wide around some corners was really nice and interesting. To get a win and fastest lap was brilliant.
Did you plan it right on that last lap? Because that's what it's all about here, isn't it?
Yeah, I knew if I was behind at that corner I'd get him on the line, so yeah.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Right, let's have a word with Charlie. Charlie, congratulations.
Oh,
what a race you had with Freddie. That looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot better than yesterday, that's for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a good race. Shame I couldn't pull it off at the end. I knew he was really strong around the last corner, so there's definitely some setup changes I need to do for the car to get me around that corner a bit better at the end to get the benefit. But he was always really fast around that corner and led after every lap, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to pull this off. So now I'm happy with 2nd place, all championship points for me.
Exactly. Well, congratulations. And move on to Mark. Mark, your car survived and got you into 3rd place. I mean, that was, I think the commentators said it was like a busy M1 motorway.
It certainly was, yeah. I think it was more like driving the road to Thailand, to be honest, but yeah, no, it was pretty mental. I struggled with visibility because of my nose cone, so couldn't see the corners here, so that was a struggle, but we got here in the end.
I was going to say, considering your visibility struggles, you did very, very well to hold off that group, because it was,
I made a few dives on the last lap to get 3rd, so yeah, it was all worth it.
We didn't really have a clue who was going to come out in 3rd place.
Nor did I.
Well, congratulations, well done, well deserved. There you go, I'll hand back to you guys in the commentary box for the next race.
Okay, thank you very much, Sam, as we get ready for our first single-seater race action of the day. It's a reverse grid from qualifying yesterday for the ROKiT British F4 Championship, certified by FIA. It's some of the highest rated young racers making their moves up from karting and into the world of single-seater racing. Identical cars, the Italian-built Tatus T421 chassis powered by 1.4 litre Abarth engines. It'll be a 20-minute race. They have 2 races coming up here today. The first race yesterday, that was a first ever win in the category for number 12 Josh Irfan for the Rodin Carlin team. He's one of the ROKiT Cup drivers this year as well, so a rookie victory in yesterday's race. But with a reverse grid from qualifying yesterday, anything could happen here. Let's hear from some of the drivers a little earlier on today.
Well, welcome everybody to the assembly area. Almost time to get underway for race 2 of the weekend for the British F4 Championship. As you can see, the cars are starting to line up behind us. Yesterday, what a day we had. Josh Irfan picking up the win. He's a rookie. Very emotional win for him as well. Right, Will McIntyre's second place, by the way, as well. Now it means he now leads the championship coming into this race. But this one is a reverse grid. So let's go have a quick chat with Isaac if we can. They're just firing the car up. Sounds good, doesn't it? So grab a quick word of Isaac. Isaac on pole position. Yesterday wasn't your day. Today's going to be different though, yeah?
Yeah, hopefully we can make a good recovery after yesterday. I've started off pole before, so just got to get a good start and get in the lead early and just be consistent throughout the whole race, and that should be the aim.
I mean, Silverstone's a good circuit, isn't it? Fast and wide. Does that suit you?
Yeah, it's good. We saw yesterday that the slipstream was quite effective, so it'll be pretty difficult starting off pole. But I think the dirty air should affect them, and being in clear air should help me out.
Fantastic. Isaac, best of luck. Thanks for talking to us. Really appreciate it. Yet to get a podium this season, 18 drivers have. Another driver who hasn't yet, but has got a great opportunity, is Kai over here as well. I wonder if we could just jump in with Kai. Kai lining up second place. Are you ready? Are you feeling good for this one?
Yeah, feeling good for this one. The pace is going to be strong for the race pace. Looking forward to getting some good points today.
Yeah, it is going to be a fantastic race, isn't it? So look, I'm going to let you crack on. Thanks for talking to us. Best of luck. Let's keep going. I must admit, I didn't get to catch a lot of that because just as I was saying it, the K2 just came steaming past us as well. I just want to grab a quick word with Mika Abrahams here. Just turned 15 years old, so joined sort of halfway through the season. But Mika, how are we feeling ahead of this one? And tell us a little bit about how you've enjoyed racing in F4 so far, even though it's only been a short time.
Yeah, it's been a good start to the season so far. Obviously, we've had limited driving compared to all the other drivers, so just trying to catch up. We have good pace at Silverstone, just messed up the quali a little bit, so we're looking forward, hopefully getting a podium or win this race. But yeah, no, we started off really strong and we're looking to continue.
Fantastic. Best of luck, mate. Thank you for talking to us. Going to go for the podium. Watch out for this man. Could be a very good run. Reminder, reverse grid. This is going to be so exciting, this race. So I'm going to hand back to Dave, who's going to call the action, and I'll see you in Parc Fermé afterwards.
Cars coming up to the grid then for our second race of the weekend for the ROKiT F4 British Championship, certified by FIA, and as I just mentioned, it is a reverse grid from qualifying yesterday. So Isaac Barashi finds himself on pole position in the Finished This by Argenti run car, yet to score points this year, failed to finish yesterday's race, so looking for some better fortunes here. Alongside him is from India, Kai Daryanani for Virtuosi Racing. He finished down the order yesterday. Second row, number 78 of Jack Sherwood for Chris Dickman Racing, and Belgium's Dover de Decker in the Virtuosi Racing number 28. Row 3, number 29 Mika Abrahams from South Africa, and number 72 Sonny Smith recently got his first ever win at Alton Park. And on row 4, number 2 Noah Lyle from Australia for Rodin Carlin, and Jaden Parriott from India in number 77. Row 5 is another Aussie, Patrick Huitzenroder for Finsis by Argenti, alongside number 11, the championship leader coming into this weekend, New Zealander Louis Sharp. He had a very quiet race yesterday, only finished down in 12th place, so looking for some better fortune here. On the 6th row of the grid, we have number 49 Daniel Ginchard for Chris Dickman Racing, alongside 87 Deegan Fairclough, the leading player in the Ginetta Junior Championship last season, the Racing Star Scholarship man from over the winter for JA Child Developments. Row 7 is number 14 Akil Alipay the South African for Virtuosi Racing, and Sweden's Gustav Jonsson, the current leader of the Rookie Cup points. Recognise the rookie cars in this race, they have yellow number plates opposed to the white back numbers for the other cars. Yesterday's winner Josh Irfan starts back on row 8 for Rodin Carter alongside Japanese driver Kanato Lei. He had some problems before the start of yesterday's race and had to race through the field from the back. Row 9, number 18 James Higgins and 55 of Dion Gouda for Fortec Motorsport and Rodin Carlin. The 10th row, number 5 Will McIntyre for the High-Tech Pulse 8 team. That team based here at Silverstone. His teammate number 7 Gabriel Stilp starts alongside him. And completing the grid will be Australian James Piszczek for High-Tech Pulse 8 from the back. So the High-Tech cars all down there towards the back of the grid. Watch for them coming through the order. So it is the number 26 in pole position. Isaac Barashi made his debut at Silverstone here last autumn, the 17-year-old for the Finsis by Argenti team, founded by former Porsche Carrera Cup champion Michael Meadows. Running in the same colours as his Porsches, the blue and black livery. Scored a podium here, Isaac Barashi, at Silverstone last season. He's joined on the front row by the number 8 of Kai Dariani for the Virtuosi team. One of a number of drivers from India on the grid. A lot of drivers having come through the karting ranks in India. The likes of Dion Gouda out there, who was 3rd in the points coming into this weekend behind Louis Sharp and Will McIntyre. Look out for Jack Sherwood as well, driving for the Chris Dickman Racing team, their familiar red, yellow and black colours. Kai Darianani is his first full season of single-seater racing. He races in the winter in the UAE Formula 4 Championship at the Yas Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi as well. He's one of the elder statesmen of the grid. He's only 18 years of age, drivers 15 to 18. Yes, we really have got drivers as young as 15 in this championship. Good to see a sizable crowd here in the grandstand down towards Brooklands, I think that is, here on the Silverstone circuit. We certainly have had a variety of winners. I think we've had 9 different winners up to this point. Well, it may even be 10 with a first win for Josh Irfan yesterday. The season opened at Donington Park at the start of the season. Louis Sharp scored a couple of wins there, and there was also a win for Noah Lyle, the Australian. There were wins at Brands Hatch on the Indy circuit for Kanato Lee, James Higgins, and for Dion Gouda. He got his first win there. Then at the Snetterton 300 circuit, Dion Gouda had a win there as well, and I think Akil Alibai got his first win as well for Virtuosi Racing. They then went to Thruxton in Hampshire, the fastest circuit in the UK. James Piszczek got his first win there, the Australian. A success for Will McIntyre there as well. At Alton Park last time out, Sonny Smith, as we mentioned, got his first win. The wins for Kanato Lee and James Higgins there as well. Is a new name going to join them as a winner in the ROKiT British F4 Championship, certified by FIA. This is really the first rung on the single-seater ladder, the FIA single-seater pyramid. You never know. Remember these names, you might see some of them make it all the way to Formula 1 someday. Many karting champions out there. Plenty of drivers are recruited from the likes of the Ginetta Juniors, the Fiesta Junior Championship. Deegan Fairclough was successful in Fiesta Juniors. He had some great battles with Jensen Brickley, now a touring car racer. Beautiful conditions here at Silverstone today. This will be a 20-minute race. Josh Irfan going for his double, but he's way back down the grid on the 9th row of the grid here for this second race in the number 12 car. Irfan driving for the Rodin Carlin team. Carlin, of course, one of the great names of single-seater racing in recent years. Multiple kart champion, and also in the Super 1 British Esports Championship as well, Josh Irfan. His teammate Louis Sharp currently leading the championship, the New Zealander. Hoped to make his debut at the start of the 2022 season in this championship, but he wasn't old enough. He didn't turn 15 in time. Scored 12 podium finishes last year and finished in 4th place in the championship. Louis Sharp, he's back on the 5th row here, only finished 12th yesterday. Dion Gowda was quite a way down the order as well, his teammates. 15-year-old from India. I'm really looking forward to this race. A great start from the 2nd row that lifted Josh Irfan into the lead in yesterday's race. There's James Pizik. Watch for him coming through from the back of the grid, the number 4, the Australian. 23 there, Gustav Jonsson, the Swede, in the familiar colours of Chris Dittman Racing. Remember Chris racing in the F3 Cup in an old Dallara a few years ago, before setting up his eponymous race team. Thanks to all our commenters. Hello Maxine Henderson, she's waiting for the Britcar Trophy race later on. Hi to Callum. So to Kibble Faust, watching from America. Rusty Nails, Ian Buckley, he's part of our rescue crew here today. He's up at Beckett's. Hello to you, Ian, thanks for your service. Somebody called Chris Hutchinson has commented on our YouTube feed as well. Thanks, Chris. So up to the grid they come then. So Isaac Barashi in the black and blue Vincis My Argenti car starts on pole. Kai Darianani alongside. He's in much more blue machine, far more blue on the Virtuosi livery. It's almost the reverse of the Vincis livery. Second row, Jack Sherwood, 78. He's in the familiar black, red and yellow of Chris Dittman Racing. And the 28 of Douwe de Decker, the Belgian. And the colours of Virtuosi. There's a bit of pink. He's got BWT sponsorship, of course. Familiar Formula 1 sponsors with Alpine. Row 3, number 29, Mika Abrahams in red and white. 72, Sonny Smith, he's in black. Watch for some of the quicker runners from qualifying coming through from towards the back with the reverse grid format in use. On his second race of the weekend for the ROKiT British F4 Championship, certified by FIA. He could be seeing Formula 1 stars of the future here at the Silverstone circuit. The revs are rising from these 1.4 litre Abarth engines. Second race of 3 this weekend for the championship gets underway. There's a yellow flag further back, so somebody hasn't got away there. Was that our pole sitter? Yes, I think Isaac Barashi hasn't got away. Oh, disaster for the pole sitter. And his bad luck this season continues. The race has got underway. We'll see who's leading as they come into the Beckett's complex for the first time. There's a bit of chop and change. It looks like it could be Kai Darianani who has got the lead. Pick it up when we can see the numbers on these cars. It's a Chris Dittman Racing car in second place. That's likely to be Jack Sherwood up there in second place. Everybody else is away cleanly towards the back there. The 29 of Mika Abrahams, not the best of starts for him. He was 5th on the grid, side by side for the lead. Jack Sherwood having a look down the inside. They start to fan out across the hanger straight into Stowe Corner. There's the number 28 car, Douwe de Decker, with the BWT sponsorship on the side pods. You can pick his car out as they head their way into the complex for the first time. Looks like it is Jack Sherwood, number 78, the Chris Dittman Racing car, who holds the early lead. 3 or 4 wide into Club Corner further back there. That's impressive from these little single-seaters. Sherwood leads the way then. Kai Darianani is in second place. Here they come then into Village Corner. 3 and 4 abreast in there. This is certainly very brave indeed. These young racers know no fear, to say the least. One of the Chris Dittman cars diving for the inside there towards the back of the field. This is great stuff so far as they head towards Brooklands for the first time. It is Jack Sherwood who continues to lead the way, trying to move up the inside there. That's I think one of the JHR development cars there. Could be Deegan Fairclough that's in there in the battle as well. A couple of lockups there into Brooklands corner as they chop and change positions. Trying to move to the inside there is James Higgins in the number 18 in the red, white and green car. He draws his way past. I think that's Josh Irfan in there, but it's Sherwood who leads. It's Sonny Smith up there in second place. He's just taken Kai Darianani coming through. Woodcut there. Fourth is Noah Lyle. Then it's Deegan Fairclough in fifth position. 77 of Jaden Parriott has pulled into the pits. He was seventh. Yes, we lost Abrahams on the first lap there, so we'll try and work out what has happened to him. Yes, there is Mika Abrahams spinning to a halt. That's out on the infield loop, so we've lost the South African. Didn't have a very good start and now has spun it, so I think that's coming out towards the loop. So Sherwood leads. It's Sonny Smith looking for his second win of the season in second place. Darianani is third. Then the blue and yellow car is Noah Lyle in fourth position. 55 moving up on the inside there is Dion Gowda. He takes Deegan Fairclough in the number 87, the JHR Developments car, and there's a spinner. That's the number 7 of Gabriel Stilp, one of our ROKiT Cup racers for the High-Tech Pulsate team. It's Oliver Oakes' team, the ex-karting champion, based here in Silverstone. Through the Hamilton Straight for the second time. It's Jack Sherwood who holds the lead, placed by Smith and Darianani. The rest of them charge their way through behind. A little lock up there for Gustav Jonsson, the Swede for Chris Dittman Racing. He's got the number 5 behind him, but Will McIntyre coming through from towards the back there in the lower reaches of the top 10 at the moment. It's a replay of that spin down at Stowe Corner. This is Gabriel Stilp. We'll see what happened to him. Yeah, so a little bit too hot into it there, locked up the brakes and round he went. Thankfully nobody close enough to tag him. Gabriel Stilp will rejoin at the back of the field. Leaders coming through to complete their second lap. Sherwood leads, but the fastest lap for Sonny Smith. There's only 0.3 of a second in it now at the front of the field. Darianani in third place, then it's Lyle. Deegan Fairclough heads the next group. He's got Louis Sharp, the championship leader, on his tail. And behind him is Kenato Lee. He's gained a couple of places past Jonsson and McIntyre on that last lap. Meeting the top 10, McIntyre and De Decker. We've got Dion Gowda, a quiet weekend for him so far, looking to keep his position in the top 3 of the championship. Leading the ROKiT Cup at the moment is Jonsson, De Decker in second, and third Josh Irfan, who's down to 16th place at the moment, yesterday's winner, showing just how evenly matched these cars and indeed these drivers are. There's Jonsson. Rest of the field goes through single file. There is the number 12, that is Josh Irfan, yesterday's race winner in the Rodin Carlin car, as they head through Stowe Corner up towards Vale and Club. Isaac Barashi's got his car going. He's down in 18th place. He threw away his pole position, stalled on the line. Thankfully nobody hit him. He's kept it going. Mika Abrahams is still going as well, but a long way behind after that spin. 14.5 minutes in this 20-minute race to go for the ROKiT F4 British Championship, certified by FIA. Trying to make a move there on the inside is the number 28 car, I think that was. Tricky to pick out the numbers on these cars in the sunlight, so apologies for any missed calls here. Charge their way down the Wellington Straight towards Brooklands once again. There's Lyle in 4th place, Deegan Fairclough behind him in the 87. It's been told there's a bit of damage on Kenato Lei's car, the Japanese driver. He's in towards the back of this group. Fairclough being chased by Louis Sharp, the number 11. It's for 5th and 6th position. The lead gap remains at 0.3 of a second as they cross the line, so no change up front. Sherwood from Smith. Lyle's up into 3rd place, then it's Fairclough. Rest of them come through. Yes, Kenato Lei has pulled into the pits, I can tell you, with that bit of damage. And Darianani's pulled into the pits as well. I thought we'd lost the 3rd place man. Didn't see him pull in there. So we lose a couple of cars there. Darianani has got some sort of a problem as well. So it's Noah Lyle up to 3rd. Fairclough is 4th. Then Sharp is 5th. Gustav Jonsson up into 6th position. There's the number 4, that's James Pissick, who has come through to 13th from the back of the grid. Leaders head into Stowe Corner for the 4th time in this second race of the weekend for the ROKiT F4 British Championship. There's number 17, Patrick Huitzenroder for the Argenti team. Australia currently in 11th position. Out of Club Corner. Sherwood trying to increase his lead over Sonny Smith. Jack Sherwood down in 15th position in the points going into this weekend. Best result he's had this year is a podium in round 3 at Donington Park. And a fairly quiet run for Louis Sharp, the championship leader in the number 11. He is chasing after Deegan Fairclough in the 87 car. Midfield heads down to Brooklands. There's one of the Chris Titman racing cars in there. 3 of them in the race. That'll be Dan Ginchard further back with the white numbers on his car. He's chasing James Higgins. They're battling for 14th place. The lead gap has come down just by a few hundredths there between Sherwood and Smith. Noah Lyle up there in 3rd. Then it's Fairclough, Sharp. Johnson leads the Rookie Cup in 6th position. Will McIntyre behind him. He's come through well from towards the back. Will McIntyre, the ex-junior saloon car champion. 8th behind him is David De Decker, and it's Dion Gouda and Patrick Huitzenroder now completing the top 10 because we have lost Kanato Lane. He's headed back out of the pits, so has Danny Anani. There's one car still in the pits, that's Jaden Parriott in the number 77. Here come the leaders. Through the right-hander at Stowe. Lyle coming under pressure now from Fairclough for that 3rd place. There's Jonsson, the Rookie Cup leader. McIntyre. There's De Decker. Number 28 for the Virtuosi team. With a lock up there. Somebody gone straight on up there. I saw smoke on the outside. Here come the leaders. We'll see if anybody's disappeared in there. I don't think they have. Just somebody running out a little bit wide. Through Abbey, up towards Farm and Village. Gustav Jonsson leads the Rookie Cup, and he leads the Rookie Cup points as well. Of course, it was a rookie winner yesterday, Josh Irfan, but he's only in 4th place in the Rookie Cup points. Gustav Jonsson has done the majority of the winning in the Rookies division. He leads Gabriel Stilp in their separate points charts. Under the bridge down towards Brooklands. Once again, McIntyre 7th behind him. There's De Decker. And behind him is the 55 of Dion Gouda. In the Carlin car, the black and pink shoe. He's got Huitzenroder on his tail. Over the line go the leaders. The lead gap is up to about 3/4 of a second now. Jack Sherwood continues to lead the way. Is he going to be race winner number 11 for the championship this year? No change in the order that time through. Just the one car not running, the number 77 in the pit lane. Yes, the lead gap is definitely increasing slightly. Noah Lyle trying to go after the leaders in car number 2, the Rodin Carlin car. Came into this weekend in 7th in the championship. It was Louis Sharp who led by 5 points ahead of Will McIntyre. Dion Gouda 3rd. McIntyre made gains yesterday though, with Sharp and Gouda having slightly disappointing runs. Kanato Lei, the Japanese driver, the former Ginetta Junior racer, 4th in the points, but he's had a troublesome weekend so far as well. There's number 4 of Jimmy Pissick from the back of the grid. He's come through into, let's see where he is, down the order, 12th place now. He's got ahead of James Higgins. Next target is Akil Alipai, the South African in the Virtuosi car. Yes, Jack Sherwood rather continuing to increase his lead. So 8.5 minutes of the race to go. Lyle turned his way through Village. Jack Sherwood, the 16-year-old, has raced in GB4 in the past, so with the Ginetta Juniors. Drove 4 rounds of the series last season as well. Somebody off there, that's a problem for one of the Chris Dittman cars. Is that our leader? I think our leader has slowed. Yes, I think that's Jack Sherwood. That's on the exit of the loop. So problems for Jack Sherwood. Rather put the curse of the commentator on him there. And the Chris Dittman racing car is clearly out of the race. I'm not sure what the problem is, whether he's doing a reset. Well, he's got it going again. I do not know what's happened there. So your leader is now Sonny Smith, number 72, looking for his second win of the season, ahead of Noah Lyle by 0.9 of a second. And Deegan Fairclough up into 3rd place. What on earth happened there for Jack Sherwood? Disaster for the long-time race leader. He's down to, we'll see where he comes to. I think he's down to the back of the field. Sonny Smith leads through Beckett's. Then we've got 7 minutes of the race to go. Scored his first win recently at Hills Park. No, Jack Sherwood's pulled off again under the bridge on the run into Brooklands. There's clearly an issue with his car and he's out of the race. Disaster for Jack Sherwood. Was all set for his first win. Son of Justin Sherwood, the long-time single-seater and GT racer based up in Leicestershire. So Sonny Smith continues to lead the way then from Noah Lyle, now in 2nd place. Deegan Fairclough is in 3rd place. Now Louis Sharp is up into 4th position now, the championship leader, the New Zealander. Gustav Jonsson, the Rookie Cup leader, rounding out the top 5. First 4 breaking away slightly now. Still around 3 more laps to go. Go towards Village. Noah Lyle is starting to turn up the wind now and start to attack Sonny Smith out in front. Deegan Fairclough isn't far away either, nor is Louis Sharp. Go towards the Wellington straight they go once again. But up holding on now for Chris Dittman Racing is Gustav Jonsson and Daniel Ginchard, who's down in 13th place, the karting graduate. Big lock up there from our 2nd place man. That's the number 2 of Noah Lyle. He's up into 2nd there on the run into Brooklands. Great move by Noah Lyle down the straight as the pit boards signal the drivers over the line. Let's see what the gap is, and Noah Lyle's going to go for the lead as they come into Copscore. He throws it up the inside like a cart through there. Has he made that move stick? That was a superb move out of nowhere from Noah Lyle. They're side by side on the exit up towards Maggots. Deegan Fairclough tucked him behind. Look at this, 4 of them going at it. Lyle slings it up the inside, somehow gets the car stopped for Beckett. Oh, brilliant. Noah Lyle takes the lead. I don't know how he got through there in one piece. Oh, this is fantastic. 2nd place now is Sonny Smith. Deegan going to try and slipstream his way into 2nd. This is like Caterham racing up front at the moment. There'll be 5 of them together soon because Jonsson's closing up as well. To the inside goes Deegan Fairclough on the run into Stoke Corner. He's going to go through up into 2nd position. Fastest lap of the race, and certainly by Kanato Lay, who's recovering further back down the order. So the leaders head towards the club complex once again. Noah Lyle, out of nowhere, just threw it up the inside, going into Copscore. He tried to do that into Brooklands, but wasn't close enough. That's where we saw the lock-up. He held off Deegan Fairclough. It's Lyle who leads the way now, the Australian. Fairclough up into 2nd place, down to 3rd, I think has gone Sonny Smith, the 72. Through Village, here comes Gustav Jonsson up onto the tail of Louis Sharp now. 5 of them together for the lead of this superb 2nd race for the ROKiT F4 British Championship, certified by FIA. Noah Lyle could definitely be one to watch for the future with bravery and car control like that. There's a yellow flag on the run into Brooklands there because of the stranded car of Jack Sherwood. Lock up there from Louis Sharp. They're not letting Noah Lyle get away here. Deegan Fairclough keeping up the chase. So is Louis Sharp. 3.5 minutes of this race to go, so it'll be 2 laps to go this time. Up towards Copse Corner there. This is where Noah Lyle slung his way into the lead a lap ago. Fairclough 0.59 of a second back on him. 2.5 seconds covers the first 5. 6th place Will McIntyre is trying to close in as well. He's only about a second further back. Through Beckett's go the leaders. There's McIntyre, the silver car, in 6th position. Up towards the right-hander at Stowe Corner on the penultimate lap of this superb race. A superb drive by Noah Lyle, and Louis Sharp, I think, has taken 3rd place in there ahead of Sonny Smith. So Louis Sharp is up into 3rd position. Sonny Smith tried to resist the pressure, couldn't quite do so. Through the club complex they go. Lay with a new fastest lap last time through, although he's running at the back of the field after making a pit stop with some damaged bodywork. 3 leaders now pulled away. It is Louis Sharp in 3rd, Sonny Smith dropping back into the clutches of Gustav Jonsson in that 4th place. It's in the order McIntyre, then De Decker, Gouda, Hudson-Roeder and Alibai round out to the top 10. Double yellow flags out as the marshals try to recover Jack Sherwood's car to a position of safety behind the barriers. Going round to start their final lap this time. Noah Lyle, the Rodin Carlin driver, lead Deegan Fairclough of JHR Developments. Louis Sharp in 3rd place in the 2nd of the Carlin cars. These 3 have definitely pulled away from Sonny Smith in 4th position to the tune of 2.5 or so seconds into the Beckett's complex. Well, Noah Lyle showing plenty of guile in this race. First year in single seats as last year. He raced in the ROKiT Cup last season, winning 11 races in that division. Raced in Spain in the Spanish F4 Championship as well. Can Deegan Fairclough catch him though? There was 0.64 of a second in it at the end of the penultimate lap through Stowe Corner. We're hoping that yellow flag has disappeared from Brooklands. He'll try and slingshot his way down the inside, Deegan Fairclough, but will he be close enough? A bit of a lock up there from Louis Sharp. He's trying hard to stay in touch as well after a disappointing race yesterday. Sonny Smith still in 4th place, I think, or is he? Take a look back. No, it looked like the red and black Chris Dittman car up into 4th place. Yes, Gustav Jonsson is 4th. Have we lost Sonny Smith there? I couldn't see the black number 72 car there, so we may have lost him earlier in the lap. Pick that up in a moment. Yes, it's definitely Jonsson in 4th. I think it's McIntyre up to 5th. Through the loop. Down towards Brooklands this time for the final time. Is Noah Lyle going to hold on to take the win for Australia? Down towards the left-hander at Brooklands. I think he's just about built enough of a gap here. I don't think our 2nd place man is going to catch him. A little bit of a lock-up again from Fairclough. He's pushing hard, but I don't think he's going to get close enough. In race 2 of the weekend for the ROKiT F4 British Championship, certified by FIA, and with a fine drive, car number 2 is going to finish in P1. Noah Lyle is coming home. There's the checkered flag. Noah Lyle takes the win. 2nd for Deegan Fairclough, and Louis Sharp takes 3rd. Who's going to come home in 4th place? It is Jonsson from McIntyre. Yes, we have lost Sonny Smith on the last lap there, unfortunately. Gustav Jonsson wins the ROKiT Cup in 4th position. McIntyre 5th, De Decker 2nd of the rookies in 6th. A good run for him. Then Gouda, Hudson-Roeder, Alibai and Pizik from the back of the grid, completing the top 10. It's Noah Lyle who will celebrate victory by just over half a second, 0.576 of a second, his winning margin. And Louis Sharp 7/10 further back. There's Kanato Lay, who comes in after a pit stop. Kai Darianani is still running further down the order as well, so we'll have 18 finishers to this one. We lost Jaden Parriott into the pits, so Jack Sherwood sadly pulling off out of the lead. Such a great shame for him. And we've lost Sonny Smith somewhere on the final lap as well. Let's have a look back at some of the highlights of that race. While Isaac Barashi was on pole position, he didn't go anywhere. There's another car caught in behind him as well. Let's see who that was. As the race progressed on, we saw the spin for Gabriel Stilk down at Stowe Corner. Move of the weekend so far for Noah Lyle, just throwing the car up the inside at Cops Corner, side by side with Sonny Smith, all the lead towards the Beckett's complex, and then sideways on the entry. He gave it full send, as they say through there, to take the win. Take the lead and take the win. Noah Lyle, quite superb indeed. Sadly, we then lost Sonny Smith out of a potential podium. Well done to Noah Lyle, an accomplished drive from the young Australian. Okay, provisional results of that race for the ROKiT F4 British Championship, certified by FA. Noah Lyle taking the win by just over half a second ahead of Deegan Fairclough, with Louis Sharp completing the podium. Gustav Jonsson, the rookie cup winner, in 4th overall, ahead of Will McIntyre. And a good result for Devon De Decker in there in 6th position. Dion Gouda was 7th, ahead of Patrick Huitzenroder, then Akil Alivai and James Pishik, who started from the back, completing the top 10. James Higgins next, ahead of Daniel Ginchard. Josh Erfan, yesterday's winner, 13th. It was Isaac Barashi recovering from stalling at the start to take 14th place, then Gabriel Stilk, Mika Abrahams despite a spin, then Kanato Lay and Kai Darianani, the final finishers after their pit stops. We lost Sonny Smith, sadly Jack Sherwood out of the lead, and Jaden Parriott was an early retirement as well. We'll head down to Parc Fermé shortly to hear from our top 3.
We've got 2 podiums. Overall, top 3.
Oh my word, what do you make of that? What a race. Here is Noah Lyle. He wasn't even going to be here this weekend. He was going to race the Spanish F4. I bet he's absolutely delighted right now. Let's have a word of him. No, I'll let you get your helmet on. You take your helmet off, don't worry, maybe have a little rest. But this is what it means. Let everybody high-fiving, everybody clapping. This was absolutely incredible. No, you weren't even going to be here, were you? You were going to do Spanish F4. I bet you're glad you came now.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice for qualifying to go a bit better, but, you know, it's like pretty good consolidation to come back with a win in race 2. Yeah, it was a really tricky race, managing the tyres and keeping Deegan behind, but we kind of took the opportunities when it came and, yeah, made the most of it.
You say you take the opportunity. It was a hectic race out there, wasn't it? A lot of it was a case of take the opportunity, stay on track, pump in lap time after lap time, and you did it.
Yeah, I think it was just a case of consistency and just waiting for the opportunities to come. And, yeah, I think we did a great job of it. The car was mega out there, so couldn't be happier.
Well done, Noah. Congratulations. Go celebrate. Where's Deegan? There he is. Oh, what a drive it was from this man. He started well down the order. Deegan, before you go for debrief, that was incredible out there. You started way down the order to come in second. You've got to be happy. You don't look happy, but you've got to be happy. Come on.
Well, I mean, that was good racing. Well done to Noah as well. I think there was some good racing, and obviously coming from the back in the reverse grid feels quite good, honestly. But I, on my behalf, think it's a racing incident, the contact that I made at the chicane, because he locked up and then started going towards the apex when he knew I was clearly coming for the overtake, and then yeah, we made a bit of contact and he lost his rear wing, and luckily my car was alright, and then I was able to just head down and then carry on and then managed to get on the podium. But it's such good racing this year. Well, this year is so close in everyone in the championship, so it's bringing some good racing, but I think there's still a bit of racing out there that needs to be ironed out, because it's a little bit carnage out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you did an incredible job, Deegan. Thanks, George. I'll see you later anyway, mate. So there we go. Let's just keep going down. I wonder if I've got Louis Sharp over here. He finished in 3rd place. Of course, he won the opening 2 rounds of the season. Louis, let's have a great. It's great to see you back on the podium, but it's quite chaotic out there. Just a case of keeping it going.
Yeah, no, it was a really tough race. Starting from 10th. I knew maybe we had a shot at a podium, but I knew it was going to be tough, and luckily I was able to make some moves and benefit from other people's mistakes, so I was able to get a P3. So no, it's a good bounce back from yesterday, because obviously qualifying wasn't. I mean, we didn't qualify where we should have, so I was a bit disappointed. And obviously race 1 yesterday didn't go to plan either. So So yeah, it's a good confidence booster to get back on the podium. But saying that, I still need to put together a solid last race, and hopefully we can.
Still time in there. Good luck. Great to see you as well. Right, there we go. We must give a mention to Gustav Johnson as well, top rookie. Well done to him. Next race coming up for the catering, so I'm going to hand back to Dave, who's going to take you through the action.
So we'll see the ROKiT F4 British Championship back out a little bit later on. Next up on track today is going to be our second and final race of the weekend for the Vertex Watches Caterham Road Sports Championship. It was the first win for Edward Cozzi in the number 3 car, the Sussex driver, in yesterday's race, with championship leader Ben Timmons beaten in a photo finish, just 11 thousandths of a second between the two of them. It doesn't get much closer than that. So can Ben Timmons get back to winning ways, or will the likes of Toby Ballard, Tom McEwing challenge from the second row of the grid, and the marvellously named Lionel Tolmash, who took the win in the opening race of the year at Alton Park? Maybe he can take a second win of the season. Also look out for Nick Bryant, who retired from yesterday's race. He was well placed, but his car sadly let him down up at Beckett's, so he'll be coming through from towards the back of the grid. Two races to go until the lunch break. The Mottl Caterham 7 310R Championship will be our last race before lunch, the quickest Caterhams we'll have here.
Great to see Ed Cozzi up there though yesterday, ahead of Timmons, making that move up there, with Toby Ballard in that 3rd place. Tom McEwing drifting just late in the race off of the podium down into that 4th place. So it's been between him and Timmons all year, and again those gaps that Tom McEwing would like to be able to make that move forward. But here is the grid for this second road sport race then, with Ed Cozzi and lining up alongside Ben Timmons on the front row, second row for Toby Ballard and Tom McEwing. We've got Rob Kennelly on row 3 alongside Lionel Tolmash. Alistair Davidson, a great result for him on row 4 alongside Sol Rogers, Ryan Wilby, Craig Boyle, both drifting backwards late on in the race yesterday, make up that row 5. And row 6 is headed by Richard Harris, who's going to be alongside Darren Butler. Lyndon Arnold lines up alongside Henry Littlejohn. Oliver Kibble-White is alongside Guy Crossman. Rob Gregor lines up 17th alongside 18th place Tony Jenner. And then a little bit further back, we've got Harvey Lawrence, with a disappointing race for him. Starts 19th today, so he's going to be trying to make his way forward. He lost a lot of places late on, alongside Rob Lowe, who we saw had a spin halfway through. James Empson a little bit lower than we might expect. Graham Finlayson alongside him. Simon Sabin, Mark Soden, Zach Lower, Andrew Bailey, Charles Hazelwood, Gary Cross, Ian Bettis lines up on 29th on the grid. We had 2 DNFs yesterday, and that was Nick Bryant, who we saw lose an engine. He's got a new engine and gearbox strapped into his car for today's race. Daniel Hope as well was another one. Craig Boyle set the fastest lap yesterday, and looking to do more of the same, see whether he can make his way up from 10th place on the grid. Ian Bettis is looking forward to a good race this year. He's looking to see whether he's also shouting out for some sponsorship. He says he's got plenty of room on the back of his Crazy Horse car, and if anyone there is, he said in fact he would like Vertex watches. He's seen some of their watches out there this time, so thank you very much to Vertex for sponsoring the Road Sport Championship, and he would happily take a Vertex logo on the back of his car.
Yes, Vertex watches, great to have them here this weekend, the sponsors of the Caterham Road Sport Championship. This is the second rung on the ladder of Caterham racing, effectively. Well, we can hear from some of the drivers who our pit lane reporters spoke to earlier on.
So I'm down in assembly with Richard Harris. Richard, you had a really good race yesterday. Qualified 22nd, but then finished 11th. So that's a good. You made up some great places.
Yeah, no, I was really pleased with yesterday. So yeah, quali didn't quite go to plan. Just never really found my groove. And then when I did, made silly mistakes. So yeah, really pleased to be able to work my way through the pack. Benefited from a a few spinners and incidents in front, but no, really successful day. So pleased to be starting decidedly further up, try and hang on the back of the faster boys up the front and let the battles commence behind and see where we get to.
Because we all know how important the toe is here. It's you know, you need to cling on to someone, don't you, to be able to work with them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 2 seconds a lap is huge in one of these. So the spread of the entire field's about 6. So 2 seconds a lap of the toe, especially with the windscreens in these, is massive. So with such long straights, absolutely critical.
Well, thank you very much. Wish you all the best of this race.
Cheers.
Thank you, Richard. I'm down with Darren Butler. Darren, I think we last spoke to you at Croft. How's your weekend going at Silverstone?
Actually, my weekend's going very well. I'm not a great qualifier, I have to say. So I qualified in 21st, and I sort of expected it. Silverstone has been a bit of a circuit for me, but I was very happy because I ended up getting through, working quite hard, and I ended up in 12th. So my good friend Richard across the road there, we had a really good session. So in terms of racing, actually, this is probably yesterday was one of the best races I've actually had in my Caterham sort of exploits, I suppose. So yeah, I'm hopeful. I've got Craig in front of me, very good friend. Shame about Dan. Obviously, he's now at the back of the field, but I expect him to move up quite quickly. So yeah, we'll see. I'll get in amongst the lead pack here and see what can happen. Anything can happen in Caterham, can't it? Anything, you know.
Anything can happen, but it's good that you've got your friends around you to work with, and obviously you must have worked with Richard yesterday because he started 22nd.
He was actually just behind me on 22nd. So yeah, I mean the good thing is now in our road sport we know the drivers, we know what they do, what they don't do. So and that's all part of the racing as well. So you've got utter respect for a lot of the drivers here who you know if you're going to get right behind them, you know that they're not going to be they're not going to go out of the way unexpectedly. So you can follow them through, and yeah, working with someone because ultimately, you know, we're all after the same thing. It's just a shame because you come onto the last lap board. If you are ahead, you're pretty much going to be behind by the end. So you know, tactics there. So I'm looking out for the last lap board and maybe make sure I'm behind someone to try and get across the line one place ahead.
That's a great plan. Well, thank you very much. Wish you all the best for the race. Thanks, Darren.
Well, thanks so much to Sam down there, catching up with a couple of the drivers. The car's out on their green flag lap then. Let's say hello to Melissa Brownsell, who's watching with partner Carl while having breakfast. Thanks for getting in touch. Melissa's daughter Holly has been doing her cycling for motor neurone disease research. British truck racing fans will have seen Holly being interviewed by our pit reporter Pointy on the truck coverage. We'll see them back out at Thruxton, I'm sure, in a couple of weeks' time. There's Nick Bryant towards the back of the field. Engine failure ended his race yesterday. He'll aim for some better fortunes here. Watch him coming through. But it's Edward Cozzi, the black car with the yellow trim on pole position. Ben Timmons, distinctive purple machine on the front row of the grid. Toby Ballard and the green machine of Tom McEwen. Third row, Rob Kenley and Lionel Tolmash. We've got Alistair Davidson, good race for him yesterday, and likewise Sol Rogers. There's Craig Boyle, the number 93 car, the bright yellow car there. Going well in yesterday's race when he had a spin up the loop.
He did. He wasn't. There wasn't the best result for him in the end, was it? Because he was right in that lead pack, and then, like you say, had a late spin, which meant he couldn't fight his way back through. Ryan Wilby also drifted back. He was up in about second or third at one point. So there's lots of people ready to move forward. That lead pack was deep, and these road sport cars, 125 horsepower, they've still got their windscreen on, fully road legal. You see, they've got number plates, not necessarily the road legal number plates they'd be on if they were on the highway, but nevertheless, they do all have to be road legal cars, and they have the biggest tow effect of all the cars here today, with those windscreens pushing the air out of the way. The following cars maybe 7 to 8 miles an hour faster as they get to the end of some of these straights, which is why we were seeing yesterday them overtaking 4 or 5 cars.
This will be a 20-minute race then for the Vertex Caterham Road Sport Championship. Good to see Dan Hopes back out, number 99 at the back of the grid. They had some contact off the start line and broke his suspension yesterday. So up to the grid they come. Easy to recognise Edward Cozzi's car with that yellow Dayglow yellow number plate cover on the front of his car. In purple it is the number 8 of Ben Timmons alongside him. In grey and orange that's Toby Ballard, number 72, from Bristol. completing the second row. Tom McEwing in the bright green number 89 car, the Yorkshireman. Last few cars just pulling into line at the back of this big grid. We should have 31 cars out there for this one if everybody's returned from yesterday. Just waiting for Daniel Hope, number 99, to pull up at the back of the grid. This will be a 20-minute race. The Vertex Caterham Road Sport Championship. This should be just as action-packed as we saw from them yesterday. Green flag about to be waved at the back of the grid. The marshals are happy. Clerk of the course is happy. 5-second board is held aloft, waiting for the red lights to go out. Revs are up, and away they go. Down towards that first corner at Cops. Decent start by Ben Timmins, tries to move across on Edward Cosy, but it is the pole sitter who will lead the way into Cops the first time. Toby Ballard is third, then it's Tom McEwing, and up into fifth position comes Rob Kennelly in the number 14 car as they head towards Maggots and Beckett's for the first time. Everybody's away around Cops corner okay for the first time. Ben Timmins to the inside as they go into Beckett's. He's going to take the lead away on the inside. Ben Timmins goes through, takes up the running as they head through the complex for the first time. It's Toby Ballard in third place. McEwing is fourth, and the number 14 car of Rob Kennelly. That's Lionel Tolmash in the black and gold car in sixth position. And everybody round the first few corners okay, side by side. The 70 of Simon Sabin, the 20 of James Empson. Sabin was the car that made contact with Dan Hope at the start of yesterday's race, so he's got some work to do through the field. Toby Ballard moving to the inside in the 72. He's going to try and take lead, and McEwing does a Freddie Chiddicks around the outside almost there, and it was almost 4 wide there for the lead into Stowe corner for the first time.
Fantastic sight these road sport cars make. There's Harvey Lawrence trying to fight his way back through, but he's out on the dust on the outside of that white line there as he heads through Stowe, so that's not the great start, but a great sight these cars make as they come through the Vale and Club Complex this time through. And it does look like Timmins has gone back, and McEwing did make that outside move stick then, so he did overtake 4 cars as he went into Stowe that time through, and he now leads Timmins as they head up the Hamilton Straight.
Well, Tom McEwing it was who made that outside move stick coming into the Vale. Here comes Toby Ballard. He cuts back around the outside now, retakes the lead. Number 88, Brian Wilby, is on the move from his slightly lower than usual starting position. Who's going to get the lead as we go into Village? 22 moving up on the outside, that's Tolmash. Swinging into the left-hander at the loop, it's Toby Ballard from Tom McEwing. Ben Timmins could be shuffled back even further through there. As the lead pack heads up towards the Wellington Straight. Yes, Ben Timmins is caught on the outside somewhat there as they fight their way along towards Brooklyn. Now it's time to break the toe. Edward Cosy's being shuffled back as well. It is Toby Ballard who's got the lead. Tom McEwing's going to try and send a move up the inside into the left-hander. He won't get the line away though. Although Toby Ballard, a little bit of a wiggle there under braking, and McEwing gets the overlap. He takes the lead. Ballard into second place. It's Timmins back up into third position meanwhile. Challenging behind him is Edward Cosy, yesterday's winner.
Yeah, Tomash just behind him as well. McEwing looking determined at the moment, but you can see the toe just starts dragging in. So McEwing's going to be under threat from Ballard and Timmins as they head through this opening lap. As they head over the line, then Ballard got the outside line as he got the momentum. McEwing lost 2 places there, I think. Cosy's still sort of fighting back, and it is Kennelly as well in that battle. But Timmins comes out in front ahead of it. It looks like we're going to be overtaking at every single corner this time. We've got the toe in these road sport cars keeping this pack together. Timmins leads them this time through then into the Beckett's complex.
14 of Kennelly trying to make a move up the inside there as well on Edward Cosy, who holds him off. Tolmash has been shuffled back slightly behind them. Then it's Ryan Wilby, and Craig Boyle's in there as well. Boyle drives up the inside. There was a bit of contact there. Tolmash has been sent wide. 3 into 1 didn't go there. And Lionel Tolmash, who beat Ben Timmins in a photo finish for the win in round 1 at Alton Park, the only man to beat Ben Timmins until yesterday here at Silverstone this year, has dropped back down the order. 3 wide for the lead as they head into Stowe. Round the outside again comes Tom McEwing. But round the outside of both of them, it's Ballard who does a Freddie Chiddicks this time and takes the lead. Side by side between Timmins and McEwing for second place. Already great action here with Ed Cosy shadowing them in 4th.
Tomas now going to have a lot of work to do. He's dropped quite a long way deep into that field. He's got some speed in that car, but he's got 16 minutes. See how far he can recover that. Saw that yesterday in the 310s as well, didn't he, with Lars Hoffman getting spun out a little bit through the race. But it's now there's a little bit of replay here. You can see that contact then. So Ryan Wilby does just get a half a wheel alongside, and Tomas was turning into the right-hander there at Beckett's and just caught the rear of the car and sent him out onto the grass. Did well to recover that up without spinning. he has now got a lot of work to do, but it's Ballard who leads Tom McEwen there into second place.
Leaders coming up towards Village. It is Ballard who covers for the lead, with McEwen in second place. There is Craig Boyle, who was nearly involved in that contact up there at Beckett's. Tom McEwen tries to cut back towards the inside. Then it's Timmins in third place, Cozzy in fourth. Very busy indeed in the pack. That's the 66 of Oliver Kibblewhite, with number 28 Nick Bryant on his tail, of course, coming through from the back after those problems yesterday. See where he can make his way up to during this race. 3 wide for second as they come down into Brooklands. Ben Timmins up the inside takes Tom McEwen. Here comes throwing it to the inside. It's a bit optimistic from Edward Cozzy there as they throw it through Brooklands. Fifth is Rob Kennelly up behind them, through into the double right-hander of Luffield. Then it's out towards Woodcote and the pit straights. And Cozzy just keeping a watching brief on those battling ahead, and he wants his second win of the season in the Vertex Caterham Road Sport of this weekend, I should say, in the Caterham Road Sport Championship, sponsored by Vertex Watches. Ben Timmins has a look up the outside. It's Toby Ballard who continues to hold his lead. The man from Bristol leads the number 8, the man from Chelmsford in Essex, Ben Timmins. All over the back of them here is Tom McEwen, the Academy graduate, as are many of these drivers. He has a quick look to the inside at Maggots. Ben Timmins over the curb there on the outside, and he's got the lead. Ben Timmins cut the curb quite fine there going into the Maggots-Beckett's complex. That was a good move. He's got the lead away from Toby Ballard.
He leads again then as they're coming out to the hangar straight. That probably means he's not going to be leading from Ballard as they enter into Stowe, as they get down the end of this long, slightly downhill and also slightly headwind, crucially, as they come down. You can see Ballard also alongside Cozzy, looking to see whether he can get that double slingshot. McEwen closing in quickly in that green car as well. It is going to be Cozzy to the outside then as they head into Stowe. That outside momentum line is really working today, isn't it? You can see McEwen looking down the inside, but he's going to be pinched, so he's not going to have the run out, and the outside line has the benefit if it turns into the inside line as they head into Vale, as the crows go scattering as this pack of cars come through and down into Vale this time.
Superb from Edward Cozzy once again, and he's got the lead for the second time this weekend. It's Timmins in second place, then the green machine of Tom McEwen. Now Timmins back to the inside as they head towards the Hamilton Straights, then up towards the right-hander at Abbey. Here they come then, moving to the inside. I think that's Solomon Rogers further back there trying to make a move in the white and yellow car at the inside. But it is Cozzy who's held his lead ahead of Timmins. McEwen in third. Ballard is down to fourth position, and a small back to Kennelly in fifth place. Craig Boyle behind. No, it's Rogers, I think, who's come through into fifth position now ahead of Craig Boyle. So Kennelly's been shuffled back a couple of places there in the silver number 14. So Solomon Rogers rising through the field well from the lower reaches of the top 10 on the grid.
Absolutely great to see. Oh, we're going to have a spin there. That's his boy. Is that Boyle again, or is that Butler?
No, that's
Butler was
Darren Butler.
So he was trying to make his way through. We heard from him, but unfortunately he's had a spin that's dropped him deep into the field. It's Timmins coming down the outside of Cozzy. Cozzy came good late on in the race yesterday, didn't he? He came through the field from 12th on the grid, and it was only on the last lap, last corner, that he really took that. That's Sol Rogers now out wide, so all that good work that he was doing to move himself forward, he's just had a bit of a lock up into Brooklands then. That shuffled him right back down the order. But Cozzy fully ensconced in this battle from the whole race now, rather than just those last couple of laps worth of effort to get through. But so Ballard having to protect now as well from McEwen as they head over on to complete their third lap.
Here they come over the line then. It is Timmins who leads up the line by 1/10 of a second, just under ahead of Cozzy. Ballard back to third ahead of Tom McEwen, moves to the inside. 12 minutes of this race to go with the Vertex Watches Caterham Road Sport Championship. 4 cars battling for the lead. It's Kennelly in 5th, Craig Boyle's there in 6th. Tolmash has recovered well up into 7th after that earlier moment here at Beckett. Sol Rogers, after running wide, is back to 8th. Then it's Alistair Davidson and Ryan Wilby rounding out the top 10. Here they come into Beckett's. Superb sight they make as Ben Timmins leads Edward Cozzy. There's Tolmash, the black and gold number 22, the almost John Player Special Lotus lookalike. Of course, the Caterham based on a Lotus design, the Lotus 7 of Colin Chapman. Here comes Toby Ballard down. As I look at McEwen moving across to the inside, he's going to try and go underneath 4 of them in one move. Oh, this is going to be very tight. Look at Kennelly round the outside. Where's he come from? Rob Kennelly. You can't take 4 of them in one move round the outside, surely.
I think they're using that wide line so many times that the dust is being cleaned up, and they're actually really having a success around there, especially with the tight line on the inside. The tyres, when they're getting this hot, they're going to be hard to cling on to the inside apex there. But yeah, he did. He made it round everybody to slingshot around it. Oh, is that now McEwen McEwen back in front, so it's all give and take. It is McEwen back in front, just old Ballard. So whilst it did have an early sort of position gain, I think he lost out as he went into the Vale that time. McEwen heading towards us, a few cars out wide there. They've got to be careful about their track limits infringement. Timmins having to fight off from Boyle there, but it's Kennelly's made some good progress then. He's sort of coming into this lead group as we meet the halfway mark, so we've got that all to do again. Let's see how much action we can have in the second half of this race.
Well, Kennelly did get second place around the outside there, couldn't quite get ahead of Tom McEwen. He was using the tighter line. Further back there's Edward Cosy, who's been shuffled back a little into the clutches almost of Lionel Tolmash. Now he's got Sol Rogers on his tail as they head towards the Wellington Straights. Once again, this is fantastic stuff once more from the Vertex Caterham Road Sports Championship, the second rung on the Caterham ladder for the Academy graduates. And here comes Ben Timmins. He was on the back of Rob Kennelly down there. He's going to go around the outside, trying to go around the outside of both of them. Ben Timmins can he get the car stopped as they run into Brooklands. Tom McEwen side by side with him, but Timmins is going to have the inside line for Luffield. That's a superb bit of driving by Ben Timmins, the championship leader, third to first, through the middle almost at Brooklands, and now ahead of Tom McEwen into Luffield.
Didn't lock up and he didn't move off his line either, did he? He did that really well controlled as going into there. It's a very difficult corner to get all your turning, stopping and racing underway, but McEwen gave him that car width exactly as he's expected to do. McEwen's back down the inside now, so he will take the lead as they come into turn one. Really, every single place you make is just almost to sort of defend for the next couple of corners. You know that you're going to have cars coming back past you, but you've just got to maintain your position by constantly pushing forward each time you have an opportunity as they spread out again, heading into Beckett's. There's not really the space there, but Kennelly finds a little bit of room. He's going to compromise him through this. It's going to bunch them all up as they head through Chapel this time.
Craig Boyle's in there as well. He's going up the inside into the second part of Beckett's. He goes third, but he slides wide on the exit. So Boyle into the equation as well in that citrus yellow number 93. McEwen's been shuffled back. The big loser on the last lap was Edward Cosy. He lost 4 places. He's at the back of this first of these two little groups at the front of the field. 4 is going to be 5 wide this time. Here's Boyle on the inside. Ballard goes to the outside. Cosy goes to the outside of the outside. I can't keep up with this at all. Craig Boyle's got the lead for the moment, but it's all going to change, I'm sure, by the time they get to Vale.
As a driver, you're trying to work out when I go in and, with that 4th place on the straight, where am I coming out? Where do I want to be each time? At the moment, they're just working probably hand to mouth, working, what's in front of me, what's behind me, and how am I going to avoid touching everyone while still maintaining my momentum? Because that's the main thing here. You've got to keep that momentum going. Every time they're going side by side, they're costing each other time. And if Boyle, someone like that, pings off at the front, we saw it a couple of times yesterday, you can have drivers move away, and Boyle is looking to see whether he can make that happen. The toe is from about the length of a straight almost. You can still be picking up a toe in this Caterham Road Sport, and so yeah, they're just trying to manage this situation. It's not an easy place to be.
Craig Boyle unlucky yesterday to have a spin up the loop. He's desperately trying to make up for those lost points from yesterday. Here comes Cosy back into the equation now, attacking Ben Timmins. They're fighting for 4th place. Tom McEwen in that 3rd position behind. I think that's Kennelly in 2nd place. Sol Rogers side by side with Tolmash further back. They've dropped behind Ryan Wilby. That's an orange and white number 88 car down towards Brooklands. What's going to happen this time through? It's Craig Boyle, number 93, who has the lead. Ben Timmins, this is where we saw him take the lead a lap ago. He's going to the outside on Tom McEwen. He's got to be mindful that there's cars behind him there though. It's Ballard in 2nd place, I'm sorry, not Rob Kennelly. He's in 5th position as they come through towards the completion of their 5th lap of this Vertex Caterham Road Sport Championship race, a pulsating 2nd race of the weekend. We'll see what the gaps are as they come over the line, see what the order is. Boyle leads by 1/10 of a second ahead of Toby Ballard in 2nd place. Ballard's going to have a look as they come down towards Cops Corner. He's up the inside, side by side with Boyle, takes the lead. Great move by Toby Ballard in the 72. Oh, it might have been a bit of contact there. I think Ben Timmins just touched the back of Craig Boyle. We saw him get sideways, he saved it, and he's still up there fighting the top 3. Here they come then. Edward Cosy moves across the block and attack from, is that Ballard's been shuffled back? No, it's not. Ballard's got the lead. Who was that got shuffled back in there? It was Rob Kennelly, the silver car with the red nose. Now running out wide there. This could end in tears. Craig Boyle out of shape again. I if Boyle had a tyre going down at first. His car's sliding about everywhere.
I think it just over-angered those rear tyres as he's got upset. There's a little bit of a contact. It was absolutely millimetres between Boyle and Ballard, and I think then Timmins, like you said, just clipped him as Ballard came out. He'd sort of already touched the curb, so his car's unsettled. He lost a bit of momentum, so I think he did lose that all by himself. Timmins didn't touch him. He would very well to gather that all up, and Timmins to avoid him. So yeah, no touch going on there. It was just the car unsettled over the curbs on the inside. They did lose him momentum, and he's now been shuffled back a little bit. it.
Yes, Ben Timmins exonerated by the replay there. It was because Boyle went up on the curb on the inside of Copse that he slid out there. So here they come through Club Corner. It looks like it is still Toby Ballard with the lead ahead of Ben Timmins as they head towards the Hamilton Straight. 5.5 minutes of this race to go. Tom McEwing in third, Edward Cozzy. They go across the Hamilton Straight rather than down it. This is fantastic stuff. Here they come then into Abbey Kerr. It's Rob Kennelly fifth. Ryan Wilby's up to sixth ahead of the number 22, which is Lionel Tolomash. To the inside goes Edward Cozzy trying to take Tom McEwing. Doesn't quite manage to do so. Boyle's been shuffled back a couple of places in there as well.
Wilby definitely had to stop the rot. He was falling backwards. He's come back through Kennelly, obviously Tolmarsh, and Tolmarsh was looking like he was going to make to the front group again, but at the moment with 5 minutes to go, he definitely needs to move forward. 5 minutes, the business end of this race. You can see further back in the field there's absolutely epic battles further down, towards the top 20 as well, but they're concentrating on this lead battle quite rightly as going every which way. Cozzy looking now down the inside of McEwing. McEwing this time trying to defend around the outside. I think he might have learned that lesson, that as long as you can hold on around the outside, you get the inside now for Luffield, which kind of maintains your position. So at the moment they're kind of defining their tactics on a corner by corner basis. Boyle fighting back through now, but Cozzy, remember, he came good late and he's got a little bit of work to do to make his way back through, and he's going to come down the inside of Woodcote this time through on the inside of McEwing. They've got a 5-minute board being shown to the drivers this time through. It's 4 minutes 20 on the clock, so probably a couple of laps left.
That looked like a last lap board actually, but it's a bit early for that, I think, as Toby Ballard leads the number 8 of Ben Timmins, who runs a bit wide there coming out of Copse Corner. This could close everybody up again. They'll spread out as they come into Maggots and Beckett's. Tom McEwing in third place, Boyle back to fourth, there's Cozzy in fifth, Kennelly in sixth. Those half dozen have broken away very slightly from the battle between Tolmarsh and Sol Rogers. Ryan Wilby's been shuffled back again into ninth position as they swing their way through. Then up towards the Hanger Straight once again. Toby Ballard, can he hang on? Here comes Ben Timmins down the inside, keeps the inside line covered. McEwing's going to try and go through the middle. Craig Boyle's dodging about behind them, and look at Edward Cozzy, they haven't spotted him. He's trying to do the slingshot around the outside. We've got 4 wide behind, so it's impossible to know where to look. The 87 coming up as well, that's Henry Littlejohn. We've not seen him in the battle yet, he's getting involved.
No, great result for him if he can maintain that battle. Spread out a little bit with the front sort of 5 or 6 broken away from that trailing pack with Sol Rogers in there. Who's coming out in front this time? It's either McEwing in the green machine. Looks like he is heading that field and maybe ahead of Ballard there. So it's still the same names there, but they just sort of spread themselves out. I think it is Ballard. Then it's Timmins who finds himself in that third place. Cozzy just behind them as they go right up against the wall this time to try and defend. As they come up then into Abbey. McEwing managed to hold on that time ahead of Ballard. He's going to have to get out the throttle a little bit just to make sure he doesn't hit the rear, and that gives Timmins the run on him as they head into Village.
Here they come down towards Village. Ballard has a look up the inside. Cozzy is positioning himself ready for the loop. I think they've got one more lap to go, but I thought I saw a last lap board out. So
5 minutes is on the back of the last minute, so one side is the 5 minutes, one side is the last lap. There you go.
Fair enough, that's what confused me. I thought it was the same both sides, but here they come down towards Brooklands. Then what will be the penultimate time, side by side for the lead under the bridge. Around the outside comes Toby Ballard. He almost leans on the number 89 of Tom McEwing. Timmins side by side as well, further behind them. That's with Craig Boyle, but he loses out there to fourth place. That's I think Kennelly that's come through in there. It could be Ed Cozzy as well. We'll pick up when we see when he's got that yellow band on the front of the car. But it's Toby Ballard has retaken the lead from Tom McEwing through the final section of the lap. Now we go last lap. Here we go. Now it's time for the drivers to really attack. They'll see that signal be like a red rag to a bull. As here they come up towards the Copse Corner, and Ben Timmins has gone past both of them. Timmins up the inside. Well, he didn't waste time on the attack, did he? He's taken the lead, but the place you don't want to be leading is probably into Brooklands for the final time.
I was going to say, we've got Hanger Straight to go as well as the Wellington Straight, so this might be the best place for him to be. He might well drop back on this the Hanger Straight as they exit the Beckett's this time, but that probably puts him in a good place to come back up. McEwing onto the grass on the inside of Beckett's. Is he going to be able to rejoin this? A dodgy situation for everyone. He managed to catch it all together. Boyle goes round his outside. Well managed. That was a scary situation for a bit there. He just lost the rear of the car and it sent him onto the grass. He had nowhere to go, but it's Timmins now. That was his championship rival losing out.
Yes, indeed. McEwing has been shuffled back to about 8th or 9th place. Here comes Toby Ballard around the outside. Cozzy's not finished yet either. He wants a weekend double. Kennelly's in there. Boyle as well. They're fighting for 4th position. And I think that's Ryan Wilby that's come through into 6th position. He's not finished yet either. There's still 10 or 11 of them battling for the lead of this race. They come down into the Club Corner complex. It looks like it's Toby Ballard just about got the lead from Ben Timmons, or is it? Because somebody's run a little bit wide in there. It is Ballard that's got the lead, Timmons second. Boyle was the driver, slightly out of shape, but he has been for the whole race. He's in there in third. Cozzy in fourth. Now they go across the Sir Lewis Hamilton straight once again rather than along it to try and break the toe. Timmons moving to the inside. Here comes Cozzy up the inside as well. He's got to time his move absolutely right. It's like the end of pack racing in NASCAR at Daytona or something. You've got to time your finishing move absolutely right.
He was trying to get through then, he didn't manage it. Can he do it up here into the loop this was the village this time through? He can't, so he's going to have to try and make up 4 places. I think that's left slightly. Boyle out wide though, Cozzy looking around his outside. Can he have the momentum around the outside? They are going to go side by side. 93 on the inside, a squeezes, shows the edge of the track to Cozzy. That's going to ruin their momentum. The front 2 then are clear. Ballard, Timmons heading off with a nice little gap above the following 3rd and 4th, so I think Timmons is in the hot seat at the moment.
Here they come then, down towards Brooklands for the last time. Ben Timmons moves across. He's going to try and make his move on Toby Ballard. He's got it absolutely right, but he's got to hold it through Luffield and Woodcote if he makes this stick. He does make it stick ahead of Toby Ballard. Going after them is the number 3 of Edward Cozzy. He wants to try and steal a second win of the weekend. It's side by side for 4th place behind them, but I think Ben Timmons has got it right, just as we suspected he might. That's a very well judged last lap from the championship leader. Ben Timmons comes in out of Woodcote for the final time to take the win in our second Vertex Caterham Road Sport race of the weekend. Timmons wins it, so we'll see what the order is as they come across the line behind. It's Ballard second, Cozzy third, Craig Boyle is fourth, then Kennelly, Tolmash, Wilby, McEwing recovers to 8th, then Littlejohn and Rogers completing the top 10.
Ooh, what a finish to that race, absolutely superb there. I think Timmons read that extremely well and got a bit lucky with Cozzy and Boyle going side by side. Boyle was very wide in Brooklands that last time through, so he did extremely well to recover it back to 4th. It looked like he might slip further down the line. Tolmarsh coming all the way back up to 6th as well, in fact ahead of Wilby, who he had that contact with going through Beckett's that time about halfway through the race. McEwing going to be really disappointed to slip to 8th there, just a mistake going into Beckett's that time. Rear end stepped out and off we went onto the grass. There's some highlights from the race then.
That was quite brilliant from Ben Timmons going into the final lap there, diving up the inside to take the lead into Cops for the last time. There's a bit of 3 wide that didn't quite go through Beckett's, and that put Lionel Tolmash back down the order, but he recovered. He got the fastest lap incidentally as well. Darren Butler's race was ruined by a spin at the loop, and then we had 5 wide for the lead going into Stowe Corner. Rob Kennelly using the extreme outside through there, and it very nearly worked. He took 3 of them, couldn't quite get ahead of Tom McEwing. And then this brilliant move, this was really the move of the race, from Ben Timmons round the outside into Brooklands, managed to stay ahead of Tom McEwing on the run into Luffield. That was a superb piece of driving, showing why Ben Timmons is leading the championship. Then there was a rather scary moment for Tom McEwing as he went across the grass on the inside of Beckett's, gathered the car up, somehow managed to keep going without collecting anybody on the way back onto the tarmac. And then Ben Timmons judged it to perfection on the final lap, down the inside of Toby Ballard into Brooklands, was able to get away to take the win, add to his list of wins for the season, keep his championship lead. Let's have a look at the provisional results then. Ben Timmons taking the win in our second Vertex Caterham Road Sport Championship race of the weekend by 0.22 of a second from Toby Ballard. Edward Cozzy, yesterday's winner, in 3rd place. Craig Boyle, a better result from him in 4th. Rob Kennelly, a good run to 5th position, ahead of Lionel Tolmash, who got the fastest lap. Ryan Wilby 7th. Tom McEwing will be disappointed to slip to 8th with that mistake late on. Then Henry Littlejohn and Solomon Rogers rounding out the top 10 ahead of Alistair Davidson. Harvey Lawrence, quiet weekend for him. Simon Save in 13th. And Dan Hope from the back of the grid came through into 14th place. Nick Bryant completed the top 15 ahead of the 44 of Rob Lowe. Lyndon Arnold was next home ahead of Tony Jenner, and completing the top 20 were Zach Lower and number 40 of Rob Gregor. Pleasingly, all 31 cars went the distance as well, and I have to admit this, I didn't see any wings missing.
You just pointed that out. I never thought about it, but actually, yeah, no, they were all clinging on in there, weren't they? There today. So, yeah, great racing by the second step of this Caterham Motorsport ladder. Remember, they're not the most experienced drivers out there, but they were showing how racing happens here at Silverstone, and what a fantastic Vertex Caterham Motorsport race. That's their final time out here at Silverstone. We've still got a couple of Caterham races, in fact 3 races to go still today for the Caterhams, but we'll see them back out on track then at Thruxton on the 29th, 30th of July. Looking forward to that, seeing them around that really fast circuit at Thruxton and seeing how they can get there. It's more chess games, no doubt, and you saw how compact the whole field was sort of all in that one line as they went down there.
Okay, let's head down to Parc Ferme. I must mention a comment on our feed from James Nash, who says, good, clean and fair racing. That sums it up very well indeed. Let's head down to Sam in Parc Ferme, see it from the drivers.
Well, that could have been about 5 different people that could have come out of that race winning. So we'll come to Ben first. Ben, congratulations.
Thank you, Sam.
That makes up for yesterday's food poisoning, doesn't it?
It does indeed, it does indeed. When I woke up this morning feeling 100% better, I was like, yes, today could be a good day. So, but also I'd like to say well done to pretty much every single person there. And I think that could have been between about 1 and 7. Yeah, it was absolutely crazy. And everyone's super respectful, just enough space. Don't think there was any contact really. So yeah, great race. So well done to everyone. Really enjoyed that.
Excellent. And did you intend to be in the lead at certain points quite early on that last lap?
Yeah, so yesterday I did a pretty bad job of trying to figure out my strategy towards the end of the race. So I spent certainly the first half trying to figure out where do I need to be. So I really wanted to lead into Maggotts and Beckett's so people could overtake me in the hangar, and then I knew I'd be in the right place coming down here. So kind of sat behind Toby through Abbey and Village and Loop, and then had to try and use the toe to just about pip him. But amazing second place again. Your first win is coming.
I'll move on. So Toby, congratulations, second place today. That's awesome. That could have been any one of you really, couldn't it, coming out on top?
Close. It was Ben just timed it right again, so well done.
He's got his strategy down to a T now, hasn't he?
I thought I had it today, but not. But got closer, but happy with second.
Yeah, definitely another podium, more points.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
I'll head round to Ed in a moment. He's just talking to Alan Hyde. But yeah, that could have been. I think there's I counted 11 of them in that top group. So at one point, so that could have been any of them really that came out on top. So yeah, we'll just move on. Thank you, Alan. Hello, Ed. Congratulations.
Hello.
Well, you're making this a regular occurrence now, aren't you, on the podium?
Well, if people stop hitting me, I can actually get up here. So, yeah, no, it's lovely. Obviously, would have loved the win, but Ben's did an incredible job today. It was always going to be really difficult to hold him behind me. He's an incredibly talented driver, very quick, and that toe is just insane. So, yeah, no, it was good. Yeah, we fight forward. Good for the points as well, so yeah.
Perfect. Well, great weekend for you.
Yep, very good weekend.
You can go and celebrate now.
Go have a beer now.
Congratulations. Right, there you go. You've heard from our top 3. We'll head back to you guys for the next Caterham race.
Thank you very much, Sam. Yes, one more race to go before our lunch break here at Silverstone, and it is the Motul Caterham 7 310R Championship. These are the quickest cars we will see from Caterham Motorsport here today. The grid based on the results of yesterday's race. It's Germany's Dominik Mansberger who took the win on that occasion, holding off Hugo Busch to take the win, so they form up on the front row. Second row, Ben Lopez Appleton and Taylor O'Flanagan in the yellow number 11 car. Then on row number 3 we have Jack Sales, number 35, fighting for the lead of the points going into this weekend, lined up alongside David Yates, who had a good run through the field late on yesterday. The fourth row is number 9 Harry Cook alongside 71 Alan Cooper. Completing the top 10 on the grid, Tom Willis, number 81, and 43 Alan Curtis. He got fastest lap in yesterday's race. The sixth row, Philip Bianchi, number 92, alongside 84 Andy Murgatroyd. Then row 7, number 70 Lars Alexander Hoffmann from Germany.